find it.
Are here in the game. Or you're not in the game?
I'm not in the game, but you're in the game.
Yeah, you're in the lobby browser, not
true.
the spectator browser.
It's happened way too many times.
It happened to me as well. Anyway, guys, we are here, Viper versus Liereyy. This is about as hype of a matchup as you can get. And we will have our #1 seed in the tournament, TheViper, here in the blue as the Britons to the southwest-ish of Arabia, and to the east in the red as the...
My game crashed.
Yeah, I like in the corner of my eye, I saw like blue, and I'm like, that can't be good. To the east in the red as the Chinese will be Liereyy. So Chinese are one of, if not the most popular civs of this tournament so far.
Yeah.
Like everyone's gravitating towards them, and you know it's certainly understandable why. They have almost no weaknesses, very few bad matchups, and if you can get a nice clean start, as we see Liereyy already luring these Ibex, then you're going to be just fine. Just realize this is bamboo and stuff, and then we're in Arabia. That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's part of the map generation, I guess, with DE. By the way, I just want to quickly mention that luring deer with Chinese is really important because they tend to be lacking food at the start. So taking those deer early from Liereyy, definitely really solid for his start.
And I think if you want to go for men-at-arms as Chinese, you pretty much have to lure those deer.
Or else to be significantly further behind in your opponent. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good that looks like Liereyy, he can probably take these other two quite comfortably as well.
Yeah.
Taking a look at their maps real quick. Stones kind of on the left side for Liereyy. Nothing too horrible. It seems fairly wallable. Golds, these aren't great. Yeah, these aren't great by any stretch of the imagination. Quite forward, quite out in the open. However, I guess he does have this gold in the back, so it's at least somewhat workable, and you know it is still overall a fairly wallable map. It's just those forward golds are a little bit ugly.
I think having that back gold will really save him in the early game, but then there's also 2 forward stones and 2 forward golds, like you said. So come mid game, like mid castle, maybe even in early Imperial Age, if he gets to knight that area, he can be like almost out of the game from the get go there in the mid to late game.
Castle mid to late game wood seems a little bit awkward too.
Yeah, like, he doesn't have a lot of options there in the front of his, in the back of his map. It's all in the front.
Speaking of Viper, his map, as he turned his map hacks on today, it seems pretty open, honestly. I guess you can wall here near the cliff, and then to the edge of the map, across the front, and like along the sides here. But I mean, that takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of elbow grease getting all those walls down. But I mean, it's something you can certainly accomplish.
I think his map is a lot cleaner than Lierey's, and looks like Overlay Guy has let us know that we hit 10K viewers at the start of the series. Woo! That's awesome stuff. Hopefully we'll go on to break even more, not viewer records, but viewer highs, I guess you can say.
Viewer records for this tournament so far.
Yeah, there you go. Also 2 backstones for Viper, and I mean, normally it doesn't really make that much of a difference in like the early game, but if we see some towers come into play, maybe a 4th siege, it could be nice to have the backstones and go for that guard tower defense, especially with Britons. Can be a really nice addition.
Yeah, certainly. And speaking of the civs, what do you think of Britons versus Chinese? Because Britons are a little bit more out there in terms of a pick, but it's something that we know actually both of these players are big fans of.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, I just struggle to see how Britons can defend scrims and knights from Chinese in Castle Age. I mean, a couple of strategies comes to mind. We see Drush FC from Britons would propel them into that like mid game where they want to be as fast as possible. However, I think if there's an extended feudal age, it benefits Chinese a lot more than Britons.
Yeah, because then you're starting to develop that skirmisher mass, and then you can spend most of your resources in Castle Age on knights while trying to add in economy, and it all kind of works out for you. But if Britons can get that Drush FC off, I mean, like, Britons are just so strong in the Castle Age. Definitely one of the strongest Castle Age civs with those cheap TCs, extra range crossbowmen. And they will be able to at least outrange the Chinese. Once things get into like Chukonu Siege Ram, though, I think Britons are kind of going to struggle a lot, though. Yeah,
Chinese probably have the better late game. But speaking of the Drush FC, we actually are seeing that come out from Mr. Viper. And, well, actually, we don't know if it's going to be an FC yet. We are seeing the Drush, and he even is going for some walls there at the bottom. You just see it happen right there. So he's playing to his civ strengths. The question is, does Liereyy expect this? My answer is, I think, yes. And how will he punish it?
I guess the one way to do that is to go quite aggressive in Feudal Age. That's obviously one of the best ways to punish a Drush into FC, and it's even going to be pretty strong against a Drush into Feudal Age play. But we'll have to see here. Liereyy has clicked up to Feudal Age without building a barracks just yet, so it's likely he's going to start by opening scouts. this seems to be something that Viper would like to have as Lierey's opening.
I actually kind of like the scouts here, and for a couple reasons actually. Basically, what the scouts will allow him to do is easily take care of the Drush, and then get inside map control. And I know that Viper is fully walling, so he was going to give up the map control. But then after you go for the scouts, and like I said, get that map control, you could easily follow it up with some skirms or some towers to try and break in. So scout opening is not too bad for Liereyy. Good wall there. Oh, I'm a little bit ahead, but maybe we should slow down a little bit.
Hera from the future.
Yeah, there it is.
What? How did that palisade wall was started?
Yeah.
But
the militia's inside.
Yeah, the militia's inside. How did that militia get in?
Wait. Oh, but Lierey's gonna smurf on him.
Yay?
He bought him out? Oh no, he lost the militia. Yeah, I'm not sure how that happened actually.
Yeah, that feels bad, man.
The number one player, a cheater the whole time. Map hacks wasn't a joke.
Cheater confirmed.
AoEzone and Reddit are gonna go crazy tonight.
He's got a ghost militia.
Oh, quick gate from Liereyy.
These beyond the ghost militia. Oh no!
But the gate goes down. It seems like he's panicking too much now.
This Drush has already accomplished way more than it ever should have.
Yeah, notice how Viper is going for the scout instead of the Vills. Taking away the scout HP is a lot more valuable at this point because he knows that he will not kill a villager here. Liereyy will run it back when it gets low HP.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
I would go for the villager kill and then run all my militia into the TC every time.
There you go. Yeah, so it's a little bit more calculated there from Viper.
Yeah.
But this Drush, like the whole point of it is just to buy time. Anything else is extra, and he did get that free villager. Good stuff from him. Still active with the militia.
Yep. And eventually, a little bit of nice micro from both players, but with the scouts coming in, that militia will die. Actually was able to finish off one of the scouts of Liereyy, so that's another nice little pick for the road there for the Viper. He's not fully walled at home, though, but because he got that scout, it's only now 2 scouts crossing the map as opposed to 3, and that is a lot less scary when it comes to sniping random villagers.
Yeah, I wonder if Viper wants to go for fast castle. He's got a lot of farms. The build is looking like a fast castle, but he's not fully walling, so it begs the question, will he adapt and go for some feudal age, or will he take a little bit of a greedy approach and try to go for a fast castle without being fully walled?
I would be kind of surprised if it was a full fast castle. Oh, whoa, Liereyy trying to... Now.
Yeah.
His food seems a little bit low when it comes to fast castle. And, I mean, he only clicked up on, what was it, 26 villagers? So that's not like... It's not like a super obvious fast castle. I think Viper can kind of go either way. That's a nice quick wall from him. Going for the stray villager is Liereyy. Just running around. Now that he has 3 scouts, it is kind of scary for villagers to fight spearmen just being produced from the barracks.
But you can kind of tell that he still kind of wants to go for the fast castle. That's going to be a Vill down, though. Yeah, no way to say that one. Vill goes down. Nice drop from Liereyy to actually get right to the back of the berries instantly. He still wants to go for the fast castle, though. We're seeing archer range, blacksmith come up. Another hint as well is that he didn't get the wood upgrade, so he's saving the food for castle age. Will he get it off, though?
It's really, really greedy. Even, with these quick walls here, not being super safe when you're trying to go fast castle is often death. And let's look back at Lierey's base. What's his follow-up? He's already got skirmishers out and on the way. No forward villagers. Lierey's not really the super forward-y type of player, in my opinion, but he certainly will go aggressive with units. And if he just keeps the pressure up onto Viper, maybe snipes all of these archers with skirmishers before they can become crossbowmen, like that is going to be one really good way to climb ahead and take the game.
Well, honestly, I just don't see that happening. Viper will be extra careful with those archers, or at least he should be. He is kind of... maybe slipping up with that villager, ends up saving it though. No big deal. He will be extra safe with his cross with his archers until he's actually up to castle age here. He'll probably just keep them on the TC and just prevent the scouts and skirms from running in. And in the end, he's fine. He lost 1 villa, but it's really not that big a deal, to be honest here.
Well, Viper is just clicking up right now, so clicking up at around 15 minutes. It's fine, I guess, for Drush FC. Not like the craziest thing ever. But we see Liereyy skirmishers one by one across the map.
And I just saw something that I'm not a huge fan of. Liereyy went for that forward gold. It's not bad, but he's going to have to tower it because there's no way to defend it versus the crossbows. Let's see how much damage you can do here, though. He's breaking down the wall with 3 scouts and 3 skirms behind. It's important to have the skirms behind to fend off the archers and to prevent Vills from walling up behind it. Let's see how successful he is at the moment.
Yep, archers are here. Fletching is almost done for the Viper. Liereyy already has it, of course. So, yeah, the thing is, the archers want to attack the scouts because they're the ones doing the damage, but the skirmishers are the ones who are going to be killing the archers. And, well, the villagers are being forced away, but Liereyy is still quite a long ways from breaking in here.
Yeah, but now the game kind of like transitions into Liereyy trying to buy the time now. Remember, at first it was the Drush from Viper trying to buy himself some time, get to Castle Age, get to his power spike. Now it's going to be Liereyy trying to stall and buy himself some time. So these skirmishers, even if they don't accomplish anything, any time he buys now is very valuable until he get up to Castle Age.
I think, especially as you pointed out with the forward gold, Lierey's really going to want to get up to Castle Age and either protect this with military or like make a TC over here or something, because Britons with their long-range crossbowmen, that is going to be a lot of dead villagers if he's not careful. Viper almost up to Castle Age right now, and he's going to be hitting Castle Age with a good, 6 or 7 archers, soon to be crossbowmen, and those can wreak havoc on villagers.
Yeah, and just want to point something out here. Viper went with only 1 range, and a lot of people would go for 2, but Viper actually going for 1 range and is prioritizing crossbow and bodkin. I really like this approach. In my opinion, way better to have the upgrades than to have a couple more units. And with this approach as well, he's going to be able to instantly drop the cheap Briton TC, this one going down on the wood close to the stone.
Yeah, I really like this play from Viper. As you were saying, the only 1 archery range and just having some better upgrades, it's the reason you go to Castle Age is to get those upgrades. It's not to get just a bunch of units that have, like, slightly better stats. So, yeah, definitely a big fan of that gameplay.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to Overlay Guy.
Overlay Guy is trolling so hard.
He's got his hands in the air like you just don't care.
That's another 10% off.
Oh, man.
But in the meantime, actually, Liereyy's micro has been insane here. Actually holding on with skirmishers versus Briton Expo.
Doesn't even have the armor upgrade yet.
Yeah, his micro's been really good. And this is the problem, though. Yeah. Forward gold, no tower. I mean, Viper can easily just pressure this for the rest of the game. Liereyy needs Castle Age. He cannot hold this in Feudal Age.
Not well, that's for sure. It's just the Briton crossbowmen have so much range. It is 8 range to 5. That is plus 3 range here for the Viper, and he can just shoot and back up all day long. Skirmishers just having to do their best to avoid the arrow fire, just dance back and forth. But honestly, Liereyy hasn't lost a villager yet, but now Viper seems to be coming in for the kill, but Skirmishers coming right out of the archery range.
Yeah, this is some really nice stuff from both players. Viper's trying to respect the range. Liereyy closing the gap, snipes a unit. 1-for-1 here is insane.
Yeah.
All you need to do is, like I said, buy time. If he gets any sort of trade back, that is just all the better. And once Liereyy gets to Castle Age, that's when I think the momentum swings back to his favor.
Yeah, at that point, you get Elite Skirmisher, you get Bodkin, and then you can start making some Knights. You already had, I think, +1 defense done. Bloodlines on the way. And, of course, Chinese can pretty well go into these diverse armies with their cheaper techs, and another skirmisher does end up dying, but 87% to Castle Age. Liereyy just needs to hold on a little bit longer. Another skirmisher ends up dying, but Viper still has yet to kill a single villager. Yeah,
one thing I want to point out, though, is that the vill count is actually even at this point. However, it's going to be soon in favor of Viper because he is on 3 TC, whereas Liereyy is just hitting Castle Age. The way to even out this game from Liereyy is probably to look to invest a lot more into military. You cannot catch up with the boom because Viper is simply faster with the TCs and he has a better economy from Britons. The way to catch up for Liereyy is to add in a lot more military, and we're seeing that with the 2 stable knights as well as the elite skirm tech coming in.
Yeah, two stable knights is indeed on the way. Elite skirmisher, kind of what we were saying at the very beginning of the game. I think Castle Age is going to be where Chinese are going to want to be really aggressive because, as you're saying, if Britons start to get ahead, then they're going to be hitting Imperial Age so much faster because their army of crossbowmen is so cheap, and then you're really going to be unhappy as Chinese just not able to even close the gap whatsoever. But now we have knights +1 defense complete for them. Do you think when do you think is going to be the good time for Liereyy to go out? Is it just right now?
Like, you can already see that Viper's respecting it. He's not one of the players to be caught off guard with this. He knows exactly what's going on. Already backing up here, giving Liereyy the map control that he knows that Liereyy can get easily. I do want to see University, and it's fact coming down right now because ballistics is going to be super important to close the gap into crossbows that have the extra range, and then be able to snipe them as they retreat from the skirmishers.
But Viper, he's rotating to the north with his crossbowmen. To
be honest, this is really sketch from Viper because if he gets caught off, he will have his army cleaned. I think he's kind of hoping for a mistake from Liereyy to be, open, and I guess Liereyy is open, but around a lot of the.
But lost the Scorpion in the meantime. Liereyy is now being forced back to retreat right now. He's actually fully walled, but it is only with Palisade. Oh!
Just got the University up. That's actually huge. Yeah. I would probably resign if that was at 99%. I don't know about you guys, but But yeah, so it looks like Viper actually continuing to go around. He doesn't even go back. This is interesting.
I mean, but like Viper is still pretty open at home, and well, he's dragging Liereyy back, so I guess Viper's getting what he wants right now. Liereyy does have the +2 defense on the way. That is obviously going to be super huge for the Knights against the crossbowmen, especially without Thumb Ring for Britons, not really able to do as much DPS. You just have to rely on sniping them from distance, but then that's when the skirmishers come in. So Lierey's really going to be banking on getting these two units, Knights and skirmishers, together and just trying to actually force Viper to take a fight, not let him dance around with the crossbows.
Yeah, I really want to talk a little bit more about this crossbow move, though, because I know it might seem like it's just completely insignificant, but it's actually really interesting. Because remember when I talked about Viper having the higher Vil count? What he's doing with these crossbows is kind of making Liereyy be a little bit more careful. He's staying at home, and that is actually protecting Viper. However, Liereyy is not completely taking the bait, and he's going to try to move onto Viper's base now.
I guess in a way you could say it's kind of a feint, because normally you don't, you know, move out with a bunch of units when you're trying to boom like crazy, but Viper just has a bunch of archers, so, you know, try and do whatever you can to keep your opponent at home, not put them in your base with these knights, so where you are really undefended. And right now the military count is pretty much dead even, but that is not really that great for Viper because the army quality of Liereyy is so much higher, and Viper's now running away with them, or Lierey's running away with the knights.
And Viper has almost enough for a castle, by the way. It must be noted that a castle will stop any form of aggression coming in from Liereyy. Also, I just want to mention that Viper has 5 crossbows around the back. They're currently standing still, but we'll keep a close eye on those guys. And the Mangonel defense is killing a few skirms now.
That is certainly going to be quite a nice move here for Viper. He's 12 villagers ahead right now. Liereyy is still only on the 1 TC, second TC on the way for him, but obviously he is never going to catch up to the Viper's economy, at least not for the next 30 minutes or so. And Liereyy still has yet to puncture Viper's defenses right here. He's trying to poke in a few different angles, but the crossbowmen, they have such long range and they have so little distance to walk that it's not that hard for Viper to be in the right place at the right time.
Can we see the KD in this game, actually? Because there hasn't been a lot of death and kills. It's only like 30 units in the game here, maybe even less, that have went down. But Viper is still managing to get a pretty big advantage off the back of that.
Yeah, it's because Viper went for the overall greedier strategy. He's now getting the defensive castle down, but, you know, when you go for that fast castle approach, quick 3 TCs as Britons, then, yeah, if there isn't a whole lot of dying going on, Liereyy, who had the ultimately, I guess you could say, safer approach, might be struggling, but he's going for the knight kill and a pause coming in right as the Mangonel's about to go down.
Tactical pause. So he sees the castle come down. I don't know if it's tactical or not. He probably has something going on. But he sees the castle going down. So this is actually a critical moment in the game because if Liereyy lets Viper get this castle up unpunished, Viper is going to be snowballing because he's going to have 3 TC, get the castle up. It's pretty much a perfect setup to go into the late game. Whereas Liereyy, he's still on only, was that 2 TCs?
Yeah, he just got a second TC up.
Yeah, not great at all. I don't even know what Liereyy could do better this game, though. Because if you think about it, I know you said that Viper was going greedy, but I'd actually argue that sure, it might have been a little bit greedy, but he took the time to make sure he's safe at every point in the game. At no point in this game that I feel like Viper can get punished from this. Maybe the risky crossbow move at the side before, but again, that was, you know, only, like you said, a feint. Wasn't really a commitment of a play. In
early Feudal Age, like if Liereyy just went forward with a bunch of villagers and just never let Viper like you know, play the game, so to say, and just started like towering him like crazy, I think that's probably.
But it's I don't know if I agree with that though, because tower where he had back wood, back gold. The only tower that Liereyy can get is maybe taking away 3 farms on the front. And Viper, if Liereyy went to tower rush, Viper would have reacted differently, and I think he still would have found a way to make it a safe game for him. I think Viper just played this one really well.
Personally, I would have towered from this angle.
I don't know.
I don't think the double wall, I don't think was there in early Feudal Age, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I see your point. I think tower rush could be effective versus this kind of fast castle. I'm not saying it wouldn't have worked. I just think that Viper would have probably reacted differently and still managed to keep his economy safe.
Well, that's just Viper. Like,
yeah, exactly.
The dude is just so hard to punish.
Yeah. I think if you're not attacking in the right areas, then and he's like getting away with these kind of plays, then he would just put himself in a really good position. One thing I wanna talk about here is that as we go into this mid to late game here, Viper is in the lead. You know, it's very clear. Yeah. The question is, how will he use that lead to get further ahead, or will he just jump the gun now and try to end the game as soon as he gets to Imperial Age? From my experience personally, I think Viper's the kind of guy to like to just get more advantage. Maybe he'll pick up relics, maybe he'll expand on the map. I don't think he's going to go for a crazy play and risk losing it, risk losing it.
I think you're totally right. You got a game. The Mangonel does go down, of course, but Liereyy not going to be able to take this fight. The skirmishers are coming from the other side. Knights are going to dance around and take damage and not really kill anything. That's not what you want to be doing. And yeah, Viper's overall taking a good trade here. I would say that as far as the Civs go, it would behoove Britons to want to make something happen in early Imperial Age, especially when you have all of these crossbowmen. But that's not really Viper's style, and I'm sure Viper can make a super grindy game work as well. But the army of Liereyy is pretty well upgraded. It's just there is never a good opportunity to take the fight, and now that Lierey's starting to get a nice army, now that there's Mangonels being brought in, Viper has this defensive castle, and it is going to shield at least a good part of his economy, at least get the gold safe. Remember, he even has a secondary gold over here as well, and yeah, Viper is just looking all nice and cozy in his base, and Lierey's even going to be forced back, potentially.
Yeah, we're going to see some Mangonel micro here as they try and like poke around this engagement. The thing is, the Briton crossbow have 1 extra range over the Mangonel, so like even a miracle shot to get back in the game here for Liereyy, likely not going to happen. I struggle to find any win condition from Liereyy in the next few minutes. I think the best thing he can do is probably look to just defend and try and stall this out to late game. Yeah. But even that is looking very hard at this point. Big engagement. Viper's taking a lot of trades here. A lot of good trades.
I'm surprised he's going this aggressive. But honestly, like, if you're Britons and you can just poke and dance away, yeah, why not? Liereyy with a little bit of a night mic right there trying to minimize the damage from the Scorpion. But honestly, I think Lierey's best bet is to just try and hold on with like a bajillion skirmishers and like just try and buy yourself time to get to Imperial Age and get that late game rolling. But obviously that's going to be so hard with Viper. He already has the castle, he has the trebuchet potential. But the one thing that we must say is that Viper is still quite far away from Imperial Age.
Yeah, and remember those 5 crossbows? They're still kind of like standing still at the corner. I'm not sure if he forgot about those or if he's keeping them for later. Probably forgot about them. They can provide some interesting gameplay later on, though, if they eventually get into the action. Good snipe from Liereyy on that Scorpion, though.
Yep, definitely good stuff from him. Viper trying to take some nice trades. The Scorpions really have not done anything for Viper.
Another useless unit on my list.
Oh, yeah. the list that only keeps growing.
Yeah, exactly.
And eventually the only viable unit will be the Cav Archer.
No, Scout, actually.
Oh, sorry, Scouts. My bad.
Then the game is perfectly balanced.
Okay, as all things should be.
Yeah.
Is that a 4th TC? You bet it is. Viper, no cares in the world. And, I mean, he does have the military and villager advantage, but it's a very risky thing. Yeoman coming in quite early. That's an expensive upgrade.
You rarely see that in Castle Age. This is really interesting, actually. Normally people get this when playing Britons, more so in the like early Imp, or even like later Imp, mid-Imp maybe.
Like on the way to Imp maybe?
Yeah, like, if anything. But getting it in Castle Age, that's going to give the crossbows 1 extra range for those of you who don't know.
And +2 attack to towers.
There you go. I see. Even I didn't know that. Yeah, we'll see how much that impacts the fights here, because Viper's already winning it. Let's see,
I mean, it's just you can endlessly poke down this army from Liereyy, and should be nice for Viper. That's another decent Mangonel hit as well. And look at the skirmisher numbers. They are just slowly but steadily dwindling over time. It went from like relatively even military counts to Viper being around double, and he gets the nice Mangonel hit onto Liereyy right there.
I'm literally getting second-hand tilt from Liereyy.
Second-hand tilt.
I would already be out of this game and into the like maybe even game 2 or 3 at this point. He just can't take a good engagement versus these like long-range crossbows. A nice attack ground there from Viper earlier as well. Will he get another trade?
Both Mangonels are pretty low. What?
Oh, the no-looker!
That was like a no-look.
Oh my god, he's insane!
Oh man, even Viper's Mangonels are flashy.
All right.
But we do have to say here, Liereyy is actually the one who's faster up to Imperial Age. He's getting Thumb Ring, he's going to have good upgrades. Viper's not too far behind, though, but Liereyy needs to, like, cobble together some sort of army to hold off these crossbowmen.
I don't know, man. 87 Vils for Liereyy. Viper's got, what is that, 110 now. Viper's resources are looking healthier as well. We'll see how Liereyy can hold. It's not looking good, though, to say
It's
the
not
least.
looking good, but I wouldn't say Lierey's, like, completely dead in the water yet. He has 5 archery ranges, and I think that's exactly what you need against like just a ton of crossbowmen, because I don't think Viper has made any other main military unit after the militia, like just some crossbowmen in siege.
Yeah.
So why not just pour on the skirmishers as best you can?
Yeah.
But Viper's still getting a nice couple picks there.
The thing I want to point out, though, is that Chinese do have a lot more potential in the late game than Britons. Like, Britons do have a really strong unit, which is the long-range Arbalest or Longbow. However, Siege Ram from Chinese, they have fully upgraded Light Cav as well. A lot of potential there, and actually good engagement from Liereyy with the skirmishers coming up that hill.
Even if it's uphill, just closing the distance, trying to thin out the number of crossbowmen is so important here.
That's huge.
For Liereyy. That is going to be actually an amazing fight here for Liereyy. He's still behind economically, but at least this is going to even out the military count. I also want to point out that Viper's moved these crossbowmen, so he does know they exist.
Yeah, I think
keeping them there for 10 minutes.
He's like waiting.
Yeah.
He's probably going to get rewarded for that. If he gets rewarded for that, that's going to be really nice to see. We are seeing that Viper is adding in more ranges, and that makes sense as Britons. Like I said, your unit is just so strong. There's no point of going away from range units. But he is actually taking Elite Skirmisher here. Interesting.
Well, yeah, like that's what I was saying. I think Liereyy's best shot to stay in this game was just to make a bajillion Elite Skirmishers, give or take a few. And the 5 ranges Skirmishers with all the defense upgrades until Bracer comes in, that's going to be pretty good. But of course, Liereyy even had the slightly faster Imperial, and look who's pushing back the Viper. It is, of course, Liereyy. Yeah,
and he's already got Light Cav teched in with +2 armor that he got earlier. This is not that bad, actually. Liereyy does have the map control. He could make something work here in the early imp. See what he is doing. Light Cav, oh, they might find that woodline on the side.
Indeed they might. +2/+2 from earlier, as you mentioned. Something that I find interesting is that Viper is now adding in skirmishers of his own. Remember that Yeoman does affect Britain skirm, so they do have the extra range as well compared to normal skirmishers. But still, like, cost-effectively, Liereyy is taking good trades. That's not like the most important thing in the world right now, but it's definitely better than I thought he'd be doing.
Quick tab, by the way, to the top of Liereyy's base. Viper did use those 5 Arbalests. He waited since like minute 20 just to do this with the 5 Arbalests, and it's actually not bad. Idling a lot of farmers and even picking off a couple of villas, forcing Liereyy to respond to the back of the base. Not a bad play from Viper. And now Viper's moving out. Those 5 Arbalests actually might have gotten map control back just by having that counterattack on the back.
Almost certainly, because not only did he deny Liereyy worker time, but it was on the most important resource for Liereyy, food.
There you
need
go.
those to make Light Cav, need those to make skirmishers. And you can see that the reinforcements from Liereyy haven't really been as great as you might want them to be. Now we have Capped Ram on the way for Viper, Chemistry as well, so he'll have full upgrades on his ranged units. A nice little bit of micro from Liereyy. Siege Workshop on the way for him. That was a pretty good Mangonel hit.
Yeah, there's actually a castle on the kind of like south part of Viper's map. It is going to get forced up here, but he lost a few villagers on it. Viper is still getting raided here. It's not completely a blissful situation. However, it's very minimal compared to the damage that Liereyy's taken in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the kill death obviously just that much slightly in favor of the Viper. He's still 26 villagers ahead, still has double the military. And Liereyy doesn't have a castle of his own unless I'm completely blind. So how do you actually stop this push from Viper?
Well, he does have the stone to make a castle, but the castle doesn't really accomplish a whole lot right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's going to be nice, obviously, to have a castle, but once the traps come pouring out from Viper, the castle will go down relatively quickly. We are seeing now the stable transition from Viper as well.
Yep, of course, when your opponent is making a ton of skirmishers, adding in some cavalry is going to be your best bet. Another range here from Liereyy. But I think on top of everything else, the castle giving you just conscription, the ability to at least have that long-term switch into Chukonu to give you something to spend your gold on, that like you feel good about spending gold on.
Yeah.
I think it would be really valuable. But Liereyy, I mean, he's still rounding out his tech. He's still trying his best to hold on. Both players have some capped rams wandering around. But, I mean, you just see, like, the fast-working Britain range is really, you can really get so many Arbalests with them.
Yeah, and the thing is that the 30 Arbalests, they barely die. Like, now Viper's not paying too much attention, losing a few of them, but as soon as he pulls them back, what can Liereyy do? He cannot chase the skirmishers from Viper, and so it's a very cost-effective unit because he pretty much never loses it. Nice castle from Liereyy off to the left there. On a hill, the problem is that there's just Viper units crawling all over it. Doesn't accomplish that much, to be honest.
Yeah, Viper's got 40 population ahead right now, guys. Like, he has units pretty much every which way. If you look at the minimap, the blue is just kind of spread out everywhere. There is this neutral gold and neutral stone way in the south of the map that you're mentioning near the castle earlier, and that is certainly going to be in Viper's control, whenever he chooses to take it. Now even trying to wrap around with the north while he's moving in at the center. Viper's just everywhere.
Yeah, and I just want to mention that Viper's going on to a perfect composition here. I always talk about compositions in late game, and the way to do them is pretty much one gold gold unit, which you open with, which in this case is the Arbalest. Then you want to go with a trash unit, something that doesn't cost gold. We're seeing that in the light cavalry from Viper. And then we're seeing one siege unit, which I imagine will be the Trebs, and indeed making those at home. So it's pretty much the perfect Imperial Age composition here from Britons.
Yeah, definitely. That is... I 100% agree with that flow chart. So, yeah, light cav coming in. Of course, the Chinese light cav are going to be better than the Briton light cav, but it's just, again, it comes down to those Arbalests. Yes, Liereyy is making appropriate counter units, but he doesn't, like I was saying, because he doesn't have the castle, he doesn't have the, well, I mean, he has the castle now, but he doesn't have, you know, good Chuko new production. He's not, like, working towards anything. He's just, like, trying to stem the bleeding, but military counts are even, Hera.
I mean, we are seeing... Ooh, we're hitting 12K from Overlay Guy. Nice. He's doing something here, raising a paper. That's a nice little change from him. 12K, awesome stuff. Welcome, everyone. And a good micro from Viper, just buying some time with the Arbalest, running back and forth here. And I think Lierey's doing a good job holding on, but it just seems grim going forward. Yeah,
like I've been saying, what is Lierey's win right here? I mean, other than just, like, magically clean up your opponent's entire army and go from there.
Like he can win game 2, not this one though. And I think the big reason here that he can't win this game in particular is obviously being on the back foot, but also not having a gold unit. And not having a gold unit will make it very hard to actually win fights. He doesn't have a power unit to actually, you know, like do the DPS in the back.
That's just what I was saying, man. Like he's just not like. There's no out here for Liereyy. Like, you're not going to win a game with skirmishers. Just ask DauT.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. There you go. And we're also seeing that one longbow on the corner there. I just want to point this out here. That one longbow, like, pretty much killing 10 villagers, preventing that wood line from being used. Yeah, it's just super annoying stuff like this. Really strong play from Viper, to be honest.
Yeah, no, Viper is playing incredibly well. Is he going to get cleaned up here? Skirmishers trying to focus the Arbalest, but Viper does have the hill. I mean, even if it does get cleaned up, it's still not something you feel amazing about if you're Liereyy. And now you can see his military count is still plummeting. Viper just chilling at 130 villagers, taking the neutral gold on the left, taking the neutral gold on the right. He is just living life.
Yeah, gonna do a quick tab on the relics. I think Viper has, how many relics do we have in here? 2 relics in 1 monastery. I don't see any more. So notice he's keeping tabs on the relics, whereas Liereyy hasn't even considered this game.
Well, he hasn't really had the opportunity to consider. He's just trying to go from fire to fire.
Yeah, there you go. He's been on like the back foot since like the mid castle age, pretty much. And now we're seeing that forward castle from Viper, looking to take more map away.
Oh yeah, this isn't quite a get out of my game castle, but it's like the next best thing, as this will secure Viper's secondary gold. At least I think it's Viper's.
Look at the right, man. Oh my god, I cannot watch this, man.
Oh no, the peasantry.
This is brutal.
The serfs just live their life. They're trying to, you know, get enough lumberjack stuff to feed their family, and they're just getting raided by all these light cav, and that is very much
game over. Yeah, that's depressing to look at. So, honestly, well played from Viper though.
Yeah.
I don't even think Liereyy played that bad. He had some good moments with the skirmisher micro. Even picked off a villain feudal age.
Yeah, that was nice.
It seemed like it didn't matter though.
Yeah, I feel like Liereyy was doing about everything he could to try and catch up. But it was just that. He was trying to catch up. He never got to dictate really anything in this game after Castle Age. And just without that gold power unit, maybe he should have tried Cavalier?
Yeah, I mean...
I think, it would have been better than trying to match Arbalests, and you couldn't have switched into Chukonu, right?
Yeah, it would have been better than Light Cav. Like, the thing is that Cavalier are very expensive.
Exactly.
But he did have that back gold, though, to be fair, that he didn't ever use. So maybe Cavalier Skirm would have been better. In any case, I think it probably was a Viper win there.
Yeah, definitely. Viper, obviously, solid kill-death ratio. Having the better boom. Look at that gold differential. Wow, that's like almost double the gold.
Yeah.
Like triple the stone almost. Like Viper just got to do pretty much everything he could have wanted.
Viper's got stars everywhere, actually. Liereyy didn't get a single star. Like, go through the things.
Oh.
No star from Liereyy.
This is not going to be...
Besides the technology, but that doesn't count.
That's bugged. That doesn't count.
No stars.
Wow. That is... That is not the Yelp review that Liereyy wants.
Yeah, it's not a good game one for him, but honestly, very high level gameplay from actually both of them. I just think that Viper like covered his bases on all points in the game.
Like, you can tell that these two players are absolutely two of the very best players in the world.
100%. What's the next map, by the way? It's going to be Lierey's home map now, Cenotes?
Yeah, Cenotes.
Oh, Cenotes? Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to pronounce the Cenotes. Let's just make that clear right now. So how do you bounce back if you're Liereyy?
I mean, the thing is, you went I think this is actually really bad for Liereyy because you went for all of your home maps being like Arabia clones. So if you can't beat Viper on Arabia, then like you're only playing Arabia-like maps. Then you're just probably really you're driving right to Frown Town.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to I don't want to say that he can't win Viper on Arabia. Like one game, we don't want to dictate the set from just that one. Viper did have a pretty solid map. He played it really well. But you know what? C-Notes can make it a bit more of an open map, and Drush FC is not as easy to go for. So we'll see.
I actually want to ask you about that. Is there anything in particular that you would do on C-Notes or C-Notes that you would do differently than Arabia?
Ooh, good question.
Like, are there any sieves or strategies that like really would make the map feel like unique to you, I guess?
Well, like in my experience in C-Notes is that the players are spawned a little bit closer. So generally towers might be a little bit better of an option, but I don't think we'll see any towers infiltrate from these two players in particular. And
the
also,
woodlines are like smaller too, right?
True, yes.
Yeah, so towers I think would be
even better. Yeah, that's a good point actually.
Theory crafting live on stream.
There you go. Actually, didn't know that. Let me write that down real quick for my series. Yeah, so those two reasons for towers. But there's also, one more thing that I had in mind. Yeah, the lakes. So we did see Viper on rated games. I don't know if maybe some of the chat, maybe you have even watched his stream recently. He often liked to experiment with docks on those small ponds. What do you think of that, actually?
Is it time for Malay fish traps?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I've never seen that game. That is apparently so famous, but I just know he made a bunch of fish traps against you.
Oh yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, on Cross. Yeah, but it's a different story there, but it's still powerful.
I once joked about like going Koreans on this map, going for the tower rushes, and then going for turtle ships in the ponds.
Might be like kind of.
That's like definitely pushing it. Okay,
yeah,
they are in
it
game.
might be a little too troll there, but the fish traps overall, I think that like they can be okay, but from my experience, they usually don't pay off too much.
No, I especially because there's so few fish in these ponds.
Right. Yeah. Ooh, I like the Civ matchup actually.
Yeah, they're on
Valley.
What? Oh, I guess because you can pick any home map.
You can? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Confirmation, you can pick any home map.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I will write that down.
I knew that and then forgot about it.
All right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, Procasters here. But it's honestly a very similar story for Valley. Normally, we've been seeing a lot of Chinese on this map. Obviously, we saw Liereyy pick it last game, so I can't pick it in this game. But Viper will actually be our blue... what I kind of said, Japanese, here to the east of the map and to the west in the red as the Japanese, or the Persians rather, will be Liereyy. Viper's Japanese.
Yeah. So we did see, let's just, like, we did see DauT play Persian on Arabia, and this is very similar to Arabia in the sense that it's an aggressive land map. DauT almost played them to perfection, but actually not even close to perfection. Didn't work out for him.
He didn't win the game.
Yeah, there you go. But how do you think it's going to pay off here? I think it's Liereyy with Persians?
Yeah, Liereyy has Persian.
How do you think he's going to do it, differently compared to DauT?
So Liereyy likely going to be a bit more of an aggressive player than DauT. Probably going to be more into archers, perhaps, than DauT was. But we'll have to see. Persians do have the trash bow potential, which is, of course, their Newcastle Age unique tech, which allows them to make a crossbowman that only cost 50 wood. So they're actually really, really cheap in a long, grindy game. But against Japanese, this matchup is one I've always found interesting because both players have a lot of different options to kill each other.
Yeah. With the Japanese helps, then you have the trash roll, like you mentioned, which is now kind of like the new addition to the Persian late game. But like taking a step back here, what about the early game? Because I think that when I think of Persians personally, I think of their strong early game economy. Yeah, a lot of options, good economy with the TCs. What do you think about that one?
I think that they should, send his villagers to gather food. There we go. But yeah, no, you are right. You start with the extra 50 wood and food. You have the faster working TCs, as you say. That means that combined with a pretty open Persian tech tree, you can do pretty much anything in the early to mid game, honestly. And so same with Japanese. They just don't have as good of economy in the as the game develops.
Right. Yeah. They get off to a nice start though. With
they have a perhaps even a stronger start than Persians, but then maybe a little bit worse in the mid game. The one thing that Japanese do have going for them is they have very good monks. And if Persians, for instance, are going for knights or something in the Castle Age, then Japanese can feel a lot better about going for monks than can Persians.
Yeah, a little bit more like defensive options there.
Yeah, exactly.
With the redemption on the monks in case a push comes in from Persian. And actually, that might play a big role in this game because Persians have probably the best one of the best castle stage pushes with their economy to back it up with knights, skirms, maybe even forward siege. So knights actually, sorry, monks might play a big role here. We'll see how the game progresses.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Lierey's probably going to lean more towards the arbalest, halberdier, with various monks, trebs, whatever sort of game plan, and Viper most likely going to be going for cavalry that is supplemented by skirmishers and whatever else, you know, siege rams, all that good stuff. Openings, though, do you think Liereyy will go for like an aggressive men-at-arm play?
Liereyy has the option with Persians to do pretty much anything he wants to. Like, they can do Drush FC, they can go men-at-arms, they can go scouts. From my experience, I think that seeing the 4 on wood, we're probably going to see men-at-arms.
Yeah, that was my
Liereyy.
thought as well.
Yeah. Ooh, Viper taking some hits on the scouts.
Wait.
Oh. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah.
Wait, Liereyy lost a unit. And Viper killed a unit.
Oh, the scout!
Yeah.
Oh, Liereyy lost a scout at the TC of Viper.
Oh.
And Viper only lost some HP on his, so that's actually pretty damn bad for Liereyy.
Oh, wow.
I have heard TaToH say that, and a couple other players, but mainly TaToH saying that the scout is the most important Dark Age unit, or at least early game unit, even more so than a villager.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you like trade a villager for a scout in Dark Age, you are not happy losing that scout. So
yeah,
that makes sense, right?
Yeah, because the scout not only gives you a strong feudal unit to defend yourself or even go aggressively, it also gives you that very important scouting information to see what your opponent's doing, what he's up to. Yeah,
the scout would scout.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, not having access to that, so I guess the scout is not scouting for Liereyy.
Not exactly. We see 3 villagers going on to gold for Viper. He's not queued up any militia just yet. Is he going to go like straight archers or something like that?
Wait, Larry's doing something special here. Like, he's walling up a lot of his map. Is he going to click the fuel edge after this, or is he going to maybe go FC?
Wait a minute. Liereyy is on what would have been 22 pop had he a scout. He check his resources.
Is he like, okay, I lost my scout, plan B, full wall FC, like, screw this, I'm not playing in feudal age. We'll see how it goes, but so far he's not clicking up. Okay, he clicks up now.
Just clicked up now.
This is really weird.
Did he just not have the resources?
I don't know, he did. He had the resources. I don't know, maybe he wanted to go up a little bit later with Persians. Maybe he knows something we don't.
Oh, well, think about it, because Persians have the 5% faster working TC. You make around 20 villagers in the Dark Age. That's the 1 extra villager you can go up late and still hit feudal age at the same time.
That is actually a good point, yeah. So maybe he had that all calculated out. Nili math, I guess, as we would say in this house.
Oh, yeah.
Apartment.
Cup 3.
There you go. Oh, Viper is making use of the deer, though, in the center.
What? You're not allowed to make use of the deer on Valley. You just have to pretend it's Arabia.
This is Arabia, man. This is like the first time we've seen them actually being used.
And they've been, and this map has been played in almost every single set.
Yeah, I know. I've played it as well, I think, a couple times.
Yeah, but it's something that Japanese can certainly make good use of. Japanese, of course, remember, have the cheaper mills, so you can, hop around with all the mills, and then you have the very, very strong men-at-arms in the early game. Can be quite a pain to deal with, and Liereyy did not go for men-at-arms.
Oh my lord, oh my god. Why does it always happen that something goes wrong and the militia are into his base? This is such a disaster. This was supposed to be an easy wall off for Liereyy. Now he's panicking. Good quick wall, though. I will say, good quick wall to recover from this position. Not the best, though.
Not the best. Stable is on the way being built with 3 villagers, but now that men-at-arm is done, you do have to repair that palisade, make sure it doesn't get destroyed, because then you'd lose villagers really fast.
Yeah.
But what would have been 23 pop scouts, like, that's a slow opening against Japanese, who have one of the strongest early feudal ages.
Yeah, I'm just going to say these are Japanese men-at-arms, like you said, not firing, but attacking 25% faster.
They fire their swords.
There you go. And Liereyy did lose that initial scout, so this is even more slow scout rush.
Yeah, like, this is just very strange from Liereyy. But credit to him, despite having a little bit of a bloopsie with the hole in the wall, he hasn't lost any villagers, but he's got the hot hands. But now the villagers are idle, right?
Yeah, but he's still smurfing, though. Oh no, he's not! Oh no!
No!
Liereyy!
Liereyy!
Okay, he's fine. He's gonna make it around. But like you said, it is still idle vills.
Yeah, it's definitely idle vills, and like most of the time, like, this villager is not working because the walls are blocking her path. So a lot of times it's inefficient vills. Liereyy now has 2 scouts out. Remember, of course, he had to remake both of them. But it's gonna be a while before you can challenge some Japanese swordsmen.
Yeah, I just want to actually mention that Viper behind this hasn't really committed to anything so far. I see a lot of people go for men-at-arms and then instantly drop a range because they've seen, you know, that's like the standard play. However, you don't have to do that. Viper adding in some farms, taking the deer in the center, and only now going for the rage. So he valued his economy more so than that early military.
Yeah, and I think you're totally right. It's a mistake for people a lot of the times to go straight for the archery range, especially if their opponent is pretty heavily walled.
There you go. Yeah.
And because it sets your economy back a lot going for men-at-arms. So having at least something of a smooth transition out of it, unlike... Whoa, Liereyy didn't lose a villager there, I think?
Yeah, his scout was kind of a double agent, actually. Blocked the villa a little bit. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. I thought the villa would die, but no, I think everybody escaped.
Yeah, everyone's happy, everyone wins, and the scouts will now move out.
Except Viper.
Yeah, Viper didn't win. But he's 1-0 in the series, so you know what? Maybe sometimes he doesn't get to win.
Sounds good. I want a 5-game series. Also, Liereyy is, thanks to the Persian TC, ahead a bit in economy, around 1.5 to 2 villagers ahead. Is Liereyy going to scout the villagers?
Oh, looks like he might, actually.
He sees the
sees
mill.
the mill. Sees the Vill.
Sees the Vill.
It's like a Scooby-Doo episode. Sees the range. And only one defensive spear from Viper turns back around.
Now
there.
he recognizes it.
Stuff. But Viper will not lose anything. He had a spearman hiding there as well.
Oh, yeah, I thought he was only sending one over now. Yeah, those villagers weren't going to take any damage, and the Japanese spearman, of course, going to be poking down some Persian scouts really quickly.
And now we're seeing two ranges down from Viper. He doesn't have a blacksmith yet? I don't think so. Yeah, no blacksmith.
No blacksmith.
He's just going to full wall instead, though.
So... if you're Viper here, what's the game plan? Do you want to make something happen in Feudal Age, or do you want to just defend your hunters here and make it up to Castle Age?
Like, personally, I think the hunters are kind of exposed now. Maybe even a little bit risky to keep them out there. But the plan is definitely to make something happen in Castle Age. You've already done early game damage. You've already caused some chaos. I think at this point you just want to go up to Castle Age and look to get some TCs down and play more of a macro style game.
But though going into a boom battle against Persians does seem a little sketch as Japanese, but if you're already in at least a pretty good position, I can certainly see that that happening. Fletching now on the way for Viper, mostly just making some sort of combination of archers and skirmishers. Meanwhile, Liereyy, naturally as the cavalry civ, going full skirmisher.
Bro, I feel like regardless what happens in the early game, Liereyy somehow ends up with scouts and skirms, regardless what happens. But we are seeing scouts and skirms once again versus archers, maybe one skirm and some spears from Viper. What do you think was having a better composition so far?
The thing is, Viper has a lot of spearmen, right? He has 4 spearmen. That's like MBL spearmen.
True.
So if they just get a single poke off on these scouts, it's just so much damage. And, you know, as Japanese, you can get a lot of pokes off. I think that guy poked backwards. But, yeah, still, Liereyy is able to snipe those spearmen. They are down to 2. And... you know, 5 skirmishers, they can kill 2 spearmen pretty easily.
Yeah.
And once those are down, the scouts can do a lot of work against this primarily archer, but still with some skirmishers army.
Yeah, there he is stalling for his upgrades, though. He's getting fletching now from the blacksmith and turning back a little bit to fight. Perfect timing, I think. Well played from him.
Yeah.
You know, timing that upgrade correctly.
Yeah, good stuff for sure. Viper does have the hill right here, but I think that is definitely a better army for Liereyy. Viper trying to get his spearmen into the fun. Can Liereyy snipe those spearmen? Like, spearmen are the most damaging unit of, like, by far in the Feudal Age, so long as you're getting them against cavalry. So it's like they're like the most important unit in this fight.
Oh, I don't know about that engagement. Running past the spears takes some damage.
Remember when I said the spearmen do the most damage of any unit when fighting cavalry? Yeah, that was pretty rocky. And I don't think Liereyy doesn't have any upgrades on his scouts. No, he doesn't. So the fletching archers, they're just going to pick off all of those remaining scouts, no problem.
Yeah, that was like the best case scenario from Viper. Even managed to survive with all the archers somehow.
Oh, man.
That's really good for him right now. And it mixes in 4 skirms to deal with the skirmishers. He's taking the perfect fights here.
Yeah, look at this. Over double the military right now. Has the Viper. Liereyy is now just going over onto gold. Viper is still going to be, I think, a little bit slower up to Castle Age. Liereyy actually has 22 people on food right now. That is quite the bustling farming economy. But if Liereyy can be safe, but he is not at that gold. Look at that wall that is not done yet.
I think he should be fine, unless Viper's going right now. Oh, please, no, Liereyy.
Remember when remember saying that Viper isn't going right now? Yeah.
Oh my God, Liereyy just Okay, he's walling with the house though. It's not too bad. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
It is an 89 HP palisade wall.
Ooh, gets away with her.
Oh,
Yeah, I got away with it. Honestly, I never doubted Liereyy for a second there. I knew he was going to get that wall up easy peasy. But he's still in a bad position, though, because now he's not going to be able to take the gold.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, you got the wall up for, like, 15 seconds, and yeah, you can wall behind it, so Viper won't be able to get into your economy, but you then don't have access to gold. Oh, but he does have the secondary gold in the back here, so he can go over to that. It just kind of feels bleh.
But then there's like the 100 wood from the mining camp, the tilt factor as well. Like that, it all adds up.
Is there the tilt coefficient when it comes to Liereyy? Like everything is just that much more tilting?
It builds up, to say the least. Like it scales exponentially.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Throughout the game. No, but actually, real talk though, he's really composed when playing tournaments, as far as I know.
He always performs at LAN.
Yeah, he doesn't let the nerves get to him.
Yeah.
But nerves aside, this is still really good for Viper. Who's gonna get to Castle Age first?
Liereyy almost has the food, but he's just now going over to gold. Viper might even be a little bit faster to Castle Age, and that is really bad for Liereyy if that's the case.
Yeah, like Liereyy getting denied that gold is actually going to make him even that much slower to Castle Age. So you can see how just that little advantage of denying the gold for like, what, 30 seconds can actually add up to a pretty big advantage.
Because Viper's clicking up right now, and if Liereyy was on that gold, he would have been clicking up like within 10 seconds or so.
100%.
And with the Persian faster working TCs, he would have that much more time to work with. But now, okay, he's like going to be up 5% slower or something.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not the biggest of deals, but I don't know. I just feel like the longer this game goes, Japanese in the late game with the Halbs, with the Bracer, Arbalest, and Skirms, I think that I kind of fancy the Japanese late game a little bit more.
It's like Japanese halberdiers versus trash bows.
Yeah.
And something that Persians do have going for them is fully upgraded hussars. Japanese
do
not have the greatest light cav in the world. So
kind of even.
I would say it's kind of even. Both are very good, that's for sure.
Yeah, true.
Like, I've always really liked this matchup. I think there's a lot that you can do on both sides.
An interesting meal from Viper, taking advantage of the shorefish and the deer, still in the center. And you know what? One extra thing is that the Japanese mills cost only 50 wood, so this is like extra efficient in terms of gathering resources.
Yeah, that's why when I was thinking, okay, Mongols are banned for this map, so like, what do you play? Japanese were like at the top of my list for the very strong early game and cheap mills.
Oh yeah, there's not a bad, and it's just all around decent Arabia stuff as well. So it's not even that bad of a pick, even if it plays that standard. Third range from Viper. That's not something you see every day.
Yeah, that is a third range and a stable. Adding in some scouts and I assume some knights.
Is this
deal with the skirms?
Cav archers? Is this Cav archers?
Japanese have fully upgraded heavy Cav archers.
Like, he's going for bloodlines. This has to be Cav archers.
Yeah, it's almost certainly Cav archers.
I really don't mind this play from Viper. I think it's not that bad. The thing is though, he is playing onto the fully upgraded skirms from Liereyy, because he will get elite skirm and botkin now. So you know what? Actually, the Cav archers might not pay off.
Well, see Viper getting elite skirmisher himself. Oh, is he trying to trip up the skirmishers?
Oh, that's a really nice play.
That's going to be a nice couple kills right there.
Yeah, getting the hill as well, like that's huge. Early cast would have that hill, gonna really dictate how the rest of the game goes. I feel like Lierey's trying to add in the 2 stable knights here. He's done this the first game as well. How will this play out differently?
Well, it seems like Liereyy might have a few more skirmishers alive, but yeah, he definitely needs as many knights as he can as soon as possible. One of those scouts is like very, very low HP, so I don't think they're going to accomplish a whole lot unless Liereyy has like some 1 HP villagers, but he does not. Trying to go for some Hera snipes right there.
And by the way, we're not seeing Cav archers from Viper. It's actually just going to be a crossbow skirm mix. I think Liereyy should probably... I just want to say get a Mangonel out, because the only way to deal with mass, like foot units like this from 3 ranges, not the only way, the best way is probably just get a Mangonel.
Yeah, unless you're like very specific civs in certain scenarios, I would say yeah. Because
oh, Hera snipe. Sorry.
oh, was there a Hera snipe?
Yeah, on the top from Viper, on the gold there from Liereyy.
Oh yeah. There you go. But Viper's splitting up his crossbowmen and his skirmishers, and that is allowing Liereyy to pick off a few piecemeal.
Yeah, that's not bad. He's going around to the gold.
Yeah, just delete the house. And
there he's chilling.
Yeah, he's even got +2 defense on these skirmishers. Those crossbowmen are going to be awful against them.
Yeah, I feel like this actually is kind of like this is a bounce back from Liereyy. He's never been that far behind in the series, but he did have very little map control. But now I think it's it's in his hands at the moment.
He's getting +2 defense for his knights as well, and I mean, with good Castle Age upgrades, Knight Skirm is just going to flatten like just whatever mix of archery range units from Viper plus a couple Knights.
Yeah, and the thing is, he always has the option to mix in Mangonels whenever he wants on the hill. That is a big play. Big engagement coming in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Knights charging forward. Don't think they have Husbandry. Oh wait, no, it's just about to finish here for Liereyy. If the Knights can, do a bit of a flank, wrap around the crossbowmen, trip them up, allow the skirmishers to close the gap, this could be one real dead army for the Viper, but Viper smartly trying to take the high ground.
Yeah, he's just gonna run back, find the best way to engage this one. Liereyy will still win this fight, quite convincingly actually. Depends on how good he gets the patrol. Good mix from Viper pulling the crosses back, but Liereyy is matching this very nicely.
Yeah, I don't think it was a cute move from Viper to patrol specifically with the Knight because the skirmishers just deal so few damage to it. But yeah, that ain't pretty, that's for sure. Yeah,
cute move, not a cute outcome though.
No.
Big win from Liereyy there.
Yeah, that Viper was just too out of position with a very slow army. Viper is ahead by a couple of villagers. He's getting his third TC on the way just right now. Liereyy, meanwhile, is he still only one TC?
He's getting the second on
the
goal.
He's getting a second TC, but Viper is still one step ahead of him in this aspect. And now Lierey's coming in with the forward siege workshop, so he wants to bring the noise over to Viper, who, luckily for him, has these 3 ranges.
Yeah, I guess the plan is just to continue massing crossbows. Does he have ballistics? Actually, wasn't he really? Yeah, he has the university. I imagine he's got ballistics.
He has ballistics.
Researched here. Yeah, the confirmation kills the Knights. Perfect stuff. Forward siege from Liereyy. Not forward, middle siege from Liereyy. What do you think?
I mean, it's it's really close to the middle of the map. And look at this, Liereyy, he don't care, man. He's just going for it.
Bro, I like this, though.
I do, too. No fear. You have great Knights and skirmishers as far as upgrades go, and you have the better numbers. Just kill them.
And remember when we talked about that Persians and Castle Age, probably one of the deadliest civs these days? The mix of scouts, or sorry, skirmishers and Knights here, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, the military counts are now looking pretty even, but the Knights from Liereyy are going to be so much more cost efficient and population efficient, and Viper is getting absolutely mowed down right now. He is able to garrison, of course, the archers into these ranges, but if Liereyy now switches over as able to bust in this gate here, Viper quick balling though. Let's see if Liereyy can make some more damage happen.
Oh, the thing is though, he lost all his skirms and he's only producing them from one range. So, you know what? These Knights, if they're not able to get into the base, aren't doing that much without skirmishers.
Liereyy does have a scout in the back of Viper's base, so he sees this huge stretch of a single palisade wall. So maybe it would be a good idea to enter from that angle. Fourth archery range here from the Viper, as the first Mangonel is trundling forward here for Liereyy, who still wants to make something aggressive happen.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that the stable from Viper will give him that easy option to take into a couple Knights and snipe the Mangonels. We'll see if he decides to go for that or not. We are seeing him train a couple Knights though now in the stable.
Yeah, I mean, I think just having a couple Knights to snipe these rams just like this.
There you go.
Like,
and
it doesn't matter if those Knights die, it's like 100% worth it there for the Viper.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Knights surviving from Liereyy, even if you have like 10, 20 Knights, if they're not able to get inside the walls, they are useless. They're useless.
Yeah, I mean, you're investing a lot into military and then just kind of not really getting a lot done with them. All the meanwhile, Viper is a little bit ahead in economy. He's 5 villagers ahead. It's enough to be noteworthy, but not enough to be like a massive difference. Yeah. Still, though, 3 TCs to 2 in favor of Viper.
Yeah, I just want to point something out as well with the TCs, that Viper now is gathering a lot of stone, and this can only mean one thing. He wants to go for a castle, and you'll see a lot of players do this. They'll get 3 TCs up and then start mining a lot of stone, because castles will really help secure the position here.
Exactly, and castle up on this hill, maybe delete one of the mining camps, and then place a castle that should, more or less defend the entirety of the front of Viper's base, and allow him to get to Imperial Age. Not that Viper's anywhere near it, but, over time. Defensive Watchtower actually coming in here from the Viper.
Ooh, interesting decision. Weird positioning as well.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of protects his flank, but it's a Watchtower. I mean, I guess if he gets Guard Tower and eventually gets Yasuma, like, then the tower's going to be good, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, this tower seems like it's maybe like a future investment, actually. For Guard Tower, that's not a bad idea. Oh, he is getting 2. That's the second one near the TC.
So the good old Yasuma Tower defense does appear to be on the cards. Guard Tower on the way. I'm sure once Viper feels safe, he'll invest that stone into a castle.
To be honest, though, the danger is that Viper gets up to Arbalest with like 40 of them. and then they just one-shot everything Liereyy has. Because Persians do have the Cavalier to deal with the Arbalest. However, they don't have Bracer on the skirmishers. So skirmishers in Imperial Age from Persians will not deal with the Arbalest from Japanese.
At least not very well. The one thing I'll say though is if guard towers are weak against anything, like as far as like defending it goes, it's like knights, because knights don't really care that much about the slow fire rate of one arrow.
Yeah, but then again, guard towers are broken, so the knights will still die to them.
No, I think that if Liereyy was able to find a way in with the knights, it would have been fine. But I think this. Oh, I thought Liereyy would want to go in, but there's actually, because of the trees, it's actually still fully walled for
yeah,
Viper.
it's not even open.
Yeah.
In any case, I don't think you want to go in there with all those crossbows at this stage.
Well, I think if he sits around here, that's not going to be a. That's not a winning game move.
Well, the thing is, race the imp. Like Lierey's not far behind, by the way. Lierey's like.
Viper's about to click up.
Yeah, Viper might click up a little bit earlier, but remember the faster TCs from Persians. It's not that far apart right now.
It's definitely not the end of the world, and if you know Liereyy is able to keep all of these knights alive, then making Cavaliers are going to be good. Maybe even Paladins. A wolf can dream.
Yeah, unfortunately, Paladins usually get outpaced by Halbs at that point.
Japanese Halbs too.
Yeah, exactly. However, the Cavalier, like keeping your army alive, going for Cavalier, keeping the skirms alive to deal with the Halbs, like the early Halbs from Viper. I kind of favor Lierey's position here, despite Viper being maybe like 1 or 2 minutes faster than Imperial Age.
Oh, it's not even going to be that much of a difference.
True.
Liereyy has now clicked up, and with the 15% faster working TC at this stage, he's going to be just fine and has finally busted a path into Viper's base. Military numbers are almost dead even, but just the quality of Lierey's army is so much higher if you don't kill your own skirmishers, Liereyy!
Oh my god, like, the only thing that can go wrong goes wrong here. Who would have thought?
Oh, man.
I think the only danger for Liereyy is to waste his army now, and already he wasted half of his skirms to his own mangonels.
Oh, man. Monks, of course, should be sniped. Viper not garrisoning the monk, a little bit sloppy from him. But Liereyy is still completely overrunning Viper for the time being. Oh, did the mangonel just run into a guard tower?
I don't like this, though. He lost both his mangonels. The knights are kind of dying to TCs. Yeah, he's getting villas. He's idling economy. But Viper didn't lose any of his army.
Like, none.
This is a bad decision from Liereyy, honestly.
Well, okay, Lierey's military count is still even with Vipers, so if he can get out with like the large majority of his army, I think this will be okay, because now Lierey's ahead in economy compared to Viper, as opposed to being just a little bit behind. So I actually think, all things considered, this wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's losing valuable units. I like that at least he ran out with the majority of his knights. Like I said, I think keeping the skirmers alive will really help with that early game Halb transition, or early imp Halb transition from Viper. But I was saying I valued Lierey's position a little bit higher before. I think now it's swung back into Viper's favor ever so slightly.
Well, Liereyy actually is, thanks to Persians, going to be slightly faster to Imperial Age than Viper, but it is going to be more or less dead even. Liereyy, I think, is just now going over to stone, so he does not have a castle. So he's just going to have to use the raw strength of his units, but I think that's going to be something that he's going to be fine doing, because his army should be doing better in a big open field, which is, you know, the middle of Valley.
Yeah, like the Cavalier to swarm the Arbalest,
yeah.
Scrims to pick off the Arbalest if they're in a tight area. Question is, what does Viper do before moving out? Does he want to tech into Halbs first, or does he want to move out with the Arbalest and risk getting cleaned up by the early game Cavalier here?
Well, the thing is, Cavalier does take a long time to research, plate barding a fair bit of time, but
true.
Viper, he seems to want to make something happen, but still, the military numbers are almost dead even, and that's going to be a lot of Cavalier soon. 17 Cavalier to be.
Yeah, and we're seeing the barracks come down from Viper, so he does want to go for that halberdier transition, which is pretty telegraphed. Like, the thing about Japanese is that like their armor composition is not a secret.
No.
You know what they're going to go for.
Well, Viper, it's a secret.
True, true. Yeah, if that was you, he'd be saying some caster jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, big engagement coming in soon.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a super important engagement. Viper does have this hill to work with, guys. 45 some Arbalests. It's a lot of Arbs. They are almost with chemistry, I believe. Actually, it's still, oh, wait, no. Viper's almost done with chemistry. Halb's on the way for him as well, and he's trying to push out. This I am not the biggest fan of. Lierey's Cavalier +4 defense is now in, I believe. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, does he want to, the thing is, does he want to try and like raid a Viper's economy, or do you want to try and take a fight? I mean, Viper is walled, but the Cavalier can maybe break in somewhere.
I think that if Viper pushes out, Lierey's really going to want to take a fight. Because if these skirmishers are able to attack from the high ground and the knights are able to flank from behind, then that could be amazing. And you're not going to bust in this way. It's a bunch of houses and a castle and stuff.
Yeah, not the right area to do the breaking into the economy. You probably want to go around, but the thing is, I don't think that's going to be a good choice. Liereyy, by the way, is grabbing the extra gold on top. Viper grabbing the extra gold on the bottom there near the south.
So yeah, all of that is pretty much even. Relics, I just heard the monk sound of Viper, so I guess he's going to be picking up some right now, but I don't really think anyone's had them for too long.
Oh no, Liereyy has 2 relics. I've never seen this before, actually. He's got the relic advantage.
What?
Yeah, he's bringing this. That's 2 relics for Liereyy. Okay.
Hashtag not my
That's
Liereyy.
like infinite more than I've ever seen him have. He usually has 0.
Liereyy isn't. That's usually not Lierey's sort of thing.
That's nice to see, though. That he's playing like properly here for the late game.
Yeah, definitely. And Viper, despite having this huge mass of Arbalests, hasn't done a whole lot with them, and the value of Arbalest is just going to decrease more and more and more as this game drags on.
Oh, that's an interesting concept you're bringing in, that the value of Arbalest, like, it's an early imp unit. It doesn't do a whole lot once stronger units come into play. Is Liereyy going to go for Paladin? It looks like he's banking up resources for it.
I told you that I believed in Paladins. I mean, and like, yeah, there are Japanese halberdiers here, but as long as you have a good answer already to halberdiers, which these skirmishers are at least a fairly good answer to the halberdiers.
Not too bad.
Yeah, then I think you can justify the Paladins, as you already have 24 Cavalier.
Yeah, but the problem, Paladin attack coming in there, so it's pretty confirmed at this point.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem, though, is if Viper is just able to trade cost effectively with the halbs and then whittle him down to the point where he can't even make the Paladins anymore. We'll have to wait and see, though. Liereyy is breaking a castle on the top gold, so he is preparing for this expensive comp. He's taking the gold on the map and the relics.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as this game drags on, I kind of like Lierey's position a bit more than Viper's. Both players at around the same population count, Viper with a larger army, Liereyy with more villagers. That's just kind of how these two civs will work out. A few bombard cannons here for Liereyy. I'm not super sold on them, but I guess they're there to snipe trebuchets potentially, as he didn't really have a castle until right there.
That was to get sniped themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice play from Viper there, picking off the bombard cannons quick.
And that's a lot of halberdiers already.
Yeah.
Skirmisher numbers aren't super high.
You know what? I just realized. I think Viper was looking at the score and saw when Liereyy made the Paladin upgrade, because all of a sudden he's attacking,
and he had no. Other than just knowing that, he had no real reason to act just right there.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So that's definitely something to ask about in the interview afterwards.
Yeah. Who already suspecting Viper's going to take the series. I like it.
My game crashed.
Oh, his game crashed. Overlay guy. Oh, switch to me?
Yeah, I'm switching to you.
I'm casting.
You're the main caster now, Liereyy.
Right.
Or Hera.
Disrespecting me already, this co-caster. Arbalest moving in here. I got you. Yeah, we're smurfing. Arbalest coming in. Is the Paladin upgrade coming in? It looks like it's about to happen. Let's see this big fight here. Let me zoom in, though.
Which stable is it coming from? I guess it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. Oh, this one. Oh, Paladin is there.
Paladin is now in.
But what does it change? The halberdier are already there. The Arbalests are already there as well.
Yeah, where are the skirmishers, man?
Put it to normal speed. But like, skirmishers at this point from Persians aren't going to do a whole lot. You are missing Bracer. And this is the typical Paladins in a 1v1 forehead moment.
Yep.
Like, it takes too long to get into them. Viper already has full halb composition.
Yeah, like
144 pop to 180.
What's Viper's military at right now? It has to be a pretty astronomical difference.
I don't know how to change this, by the way.
Okay, so you see where the little banners thing are on the left-hand side?
Yeah? Oh, this one?
Just click that once. Oh, nope, go back.
I was struggling with that all game, actually. Okay. So, yeah, Viper's going to be pushing in. The military count is currently 68.
to 18.
Yeah, 71 now. And that's the GG.
That's the GG.
That's the GG. So the main caster the whole time, pretty much at the end there.
Definitely.
Definitely carried that one. What do you think of the game, though, from start to finish?
I thought that was a really good game.
Same, yeah, very close.
Like, I think that there were, it all came down to certain decision making, and that was just the perfect time for Viper to hit. Yes, the Paladin upgrade came in, but it came in too late. Yeah. Like, all of the skirmishers were dead at that point. The Cavalier numbers had been, like, halved or something. So it just, at that point, you would have wished you had, like, 15 more Cavalier.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like the big like discussion with Paladin 1v1. It simply takes too long to get there. It takes too many resources away from you, and then by the time you have it, your opponent has helps. And Japanese helps, not to mention that as well.
Yeah, but on top of that, I think that's why Franks with Chivalry can actually go for Paladin so much more, because it speeds up the Paladin research time by a lot.
Yeah, you might get that timing in there a little bit faster and actually make use
as you
of
can
them.
see, that difference in timing can make all the difference in the
Very,
game.
very true. Like the Cavalier were almost all dead before Paladin even kicked in.
Yeah.
And then once the Paladin kicks in, it, like I said, changes very little. Stats, okay. So it looks like I'm getting rushed off stage here.
Come on, caster.
And I am new to this. KD, very similar.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course,
Viper's army's cheaper.
there you go. Yeah, exactly. Some stars for Liereyy though, not
There
too
you go.
bad.
Gets a gold star.
Pretty close. Probably say yeah, ahead in eco for Liereyy, but like we said, cheaper units for Viper. Map exploration actually the same. Nice to see
There you
that.
go.
And the uptimes are very close as well. 5 seconds away in Castle Age, 6 seconds away from Imperial Age. Villese as well. Like we said, it's typical for these civs.
Yep.
And then Relic Gold, looks like both players. Very even timeline except until the end there.
Yeah, like, that was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Just like it really shows how high level these guys are.
Yeah. So it's back to us now in the overlay, and I think that game pretty much went as we talked about. Like Japanese with the stronger late game, Persian with the stronger Castle Age. Very, very strong game.
And it was just like Liereyy just not able to make it happen. These guys should be getting into the next game fairly soon.
What's the next map now? C notes, you say it.
So it would either be... Oh, no, it is 100% Cenotes. C notes.
There you go, you said it. But yeah, C notes coming out. It's another Arabia clone, as we've been talking about here. With, of course, the small lakes that are pretty useless.
Yeah, they at least back in like HD or something, you used to sometimes have like deep fish in it. And I remember getting a generation where I had like 3 deep fish in one of the ponds, and I just docked it.
I remember never playing HD ever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, it was either HD or World of Kingdoms.
Same
thing in my mind.
I'm on board, but never HD.
Yeah.
I'm a huge hater, by the way.
Yeah.
In any case, though, going on to like in terms of civs, what do you expect from these two players?
Well, I think because we're saying it's just pretty much an Arabia clone, with the pawns being more or less an aesthetic feature.
Yeah.
Just picking a good Arabia civ. Like, if I were Liereyy right now in this position, I would just pick what I personally think is the strongest Arabia civ that I feel the most comfortable with. You know, discounting whatever he played in the last games.
Right, of course. Because obviously it's a do or die game, so you might as well, play your best, put your best foot forward. I think as far as like options, he's got Huns remaining very strong, very comfortable with it as well. I know Liereyy is. I think there's also both Mezzo available, Aztec Mayans. Looking ahead at the maps, we're going to see Hideout. He might want to save a Mezzo Civ for that one, and then there's obviously going to be Islands as well. So he will play Vikings on Islands, I'm sure.
Vikings or possibly Italians, but Lierey's a Vikings guy.
Yeah, he will 100% pick Vikings.
Yeah, so I think that maybe save Mayans for Hideout and then use Aztecs on Cenotes. I think that seems like a pretty solid game plan.
I mean, last time he picked Mayans on Hideout, he lost a Khmer from Viper, so I don't know if he wants to play that shit again. Yeah, so.
Oh, I cast that game.
Oh, yeah, you watched that?
Yeah,
actually, I roasted him for like a few hours after that one.
Yeah.
I was still talking about it this morning, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we can either see probably Aztecs or Huns, I think, if I had a bet.
About about as classic good Arabia civs as you can get in this community.
Yeah.
So, are they in game?
Overlay guy's making some weird faces.
Overlay guy's just shrugging. Oh, whoops.
Looks like.
Oh, whoops. Too early.
Yeah.
See, I got the buttons down.
No, I don't.
Oh wait, here we go. Here we go. Now they're in game.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, man.
Why does it take longer for me? Am I in live? I'm spectating games. There we go.
Maybe it's because you're...
Mayans versus Huns. I told you, I'm smurfing the save game. I knew he'd go for Huns.
Anyway, guys, here we are. This is Lierey's match life on the line. And we are on Cenotes, and he will be up against the Viper, who's going to be our blue Mayan player here to the northeast-ish of the map. And his opponent, as the Huns, will be in the red as Liereyy.
Yeah.
Perfect intro.
It's as good as it gets there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you had the right idea. You just used the wrong words for the wrong order.
In the wrong order.
I respect it, though. I couldn't have done it myself. So yeah, Huns versus Mayans on this map. Like you said, top-tier Arabia civs from both. How do you think this match was going to play out?
So, Mayans versus Huns is very much a classic AoE2 matchup. And honestly, I kind of like Huns a little bit more. especially now that plumed archers are like the worst unit in the game.
True, true.
Like, what are you gonna do to stop Hun Knights, man?
Yeah, I forgot. Useless units from the castle, so I think Hun's definitely the favorite civ.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I want to mention, though, on a more realistic note, though, is that Mezzo actually do suck without gold. They have very weak trash, obviously not having access to the light cavalry. 2 forward golds from Viper. That could be, like, really, really dangerous. And it's, like, just under a hill as well. This is, like, really, really...
Is this gold Vipers?
Yeah. Oh, it is? And there's another Liereyy gold. There's, like, 4 gold and a stone in the center of the map. Like this,
that is.
You have to go aggressive.
This hill, I wish I could zoom out more, but like this hill is like
it's huge,
so huge. But it's like really important. It's like right between the 2 players.
Right.
But the thing that's really nice for Liereyy is he's got 2 golds. They're like right next to each other, and a stone that's really safe in the back. His main stone isn't awful either. So, I mean, all other things aside, I think Viper is in a little bit of a pickle, as they say over there.
Yeah, like I think Liereyy can just kick back, take the gold, but I do want to see some aggressive play from him. He has the options, like Huns, as far as the aggressive play with Huns goes, you have the option to open men-at-arms or scouts, and then follow it up with, either archers in feudal age, or even just wall up and look to go for castle age. Both can actually lead to aggressive play. You don't have to pressure this from the get-go, the tower rush. You can pressure this in castle age, but I do want to see some pressure within the first 25 minutes of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the last thing you would want to do is just let Mayans do what they want.
Yeah.
Because just you will die, like almost always, to some sort of early Imperial Age or something like that.
It kind of reminds us of the Britain match, right? Where like Viper got what he wanted and Liereyy had no answers to it, pretty much.
It's just any civ that has a super snowball-y unit, which are usually archer units. So yeah, it's a very similar concept. And especially if you're making arbalests as well as Mayans when you're not making plumed archers.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we do have the cheaper arbalests as well. And Viper's map, aside from the golds, is actually not bad, by the way. He's got like 5 woodlands around. He can easily wall backstone as well. He could go for the plumed archer. And then obviously Berries is in the back with closed deer as well. Yeah,
the left side of his base is a little open for my taste, but I mean, Mayans, they even have cheap walls if you really want to go for the FC sort of thing. And I think he could do that if he wanted to. It's still, I think mid-game, though, it's going to be a big problem for Viper, unless, like, say he gets a castle up at the front and then just slowly leapfrogs additional castles as Mayans.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be his best game plan, but as you're saying, Liereyy is almost certainly going to make something aggressive happen and is going to do his best to deny that.
Yeah, like, well, I kind of like what you're saying, but like the castles here, some ground and one more castle, a bit more. The problem with it, though, is you see this big hill in the center
exactly.
here. This big hill, if Liereyy gets a castle on that one, traps down Viper's castles when he's going for the plumes.
Yeah, that's all over.
Pretty. Yeah,
I mean, I think at that point you're banking on the fact that Mayans are almost always the faster civ to imp,
right?
And then like trying to go for the Trebor there, unless you are just completely stopped by the 100% accurate Hun Trebs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, 30% only for those who are new, but sometimes it feels like 100 to be fair.
It's actually 50%.
Oh, it's 50%?
Yeah, it's 50%.
Never mind. I don't play this game. But
they're normally, I believe, 30%.
Oh, we're seeing a barracks fast from Liereyy.
That is a fast barracks.
That's a drush, right?
That is a drush barracks, yeah. I mean, I guess I have seen faster barracks like with Persians and stuff, but
yeah, but
with Huns, yeah, like we would expect some militia to be queued up.
No, this is a men-at-arms one. Yeah, it was a drush one in disguise. It's actually men-at-arms. It looks like Viper's getting a more.
I guess it doesn't really matter. Like you're not building houses.
Yeah, exactly. He just dropped it down pretty much. Viper's getting more of a classic barrack timing for men-at-arms here. Men-at-arm opening from both, pretty standard, I think.
Oh yeah, it's. In a way, it's like you have to get damage done with men-at-arms, but it's like still the safest opening, I feel.
Yeah, because if you don't go men-at-arms, then you risk like taking damage, pretty much.
Like dying to men-at-arms.
Yeah, exactly.
Like men-at-arms are only bad against just like walls.
Yeah.
And sometimes your opponent will be trying to be greedy, or they'll have a map that's just you are not able to wall easily, and then you can definitely get something done. I mean, we've seen it already a bunch of times in this tournament with men-at-arms sneaking in and getting 1 or 2 villager kills. Yeah,
like in that one game where DauT, it was actually a drush, but he walled in like most of his base and then had that one unfortunate like 5-tile gap in the end, and then took the damage. But these things do happen, the holes in the walls, and now we are seeing militia being queued up from Viper and from Liereyy, who looks to think does want to go pretty aggressive here.
Oh no, Viper getting a little bit housed right now. Not able to get that 3rd militia out anytime soon. Just now going to build the house. That is a rather painful time. Third militia coming in here as well for Liereyy. Their feudal age times are almost identical. Viper just one villager ahead because he's Mayans. But yeah. Oh, Liereyy doesn't want to take damage on that militia. Will take one club swing from the Viper. But overall, Viper seems pretty well set up defensively.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, though, that if in even numbers, the Scout Cavalry is actually stronger than the Eagle, dishing out 1 extra damage in the fight. So the fight does actually favor... Yeah, exactly, once you get to feudal age. The fight actually does favor Liereyy at this point.
Indeed. But if you add villagers into the mix, then yeah, that's definitely going Viper's way. But at that point, it's idle time. So long as you don't just, like, lose all of your militia for free. And oh, Viper, a little bit of an uncharacteristic not finishing the quick wall. But Men-at-Arms upgrade is now in here for Liereyy. Vipers is a little bit slower on stand ground, took a bit of damage.
Taking some damage here. This is not looking too good for him because now that the fight will just be more and more in favor of Liereyy.
I feel like Liereyy actually wasted a few precious seconds, like, walking down this way for no reason.
Yeah, but Viper wasted a precious Eagle right there.
Yeah.
This is good for Liereyy, honestly. This is a really good early game advantage.
Yeah, definitely. It's keeping Viper on his side of the map. Viper already is going for the double range, so he does want to go aggressive himself. Probably just doesn't want to deal with all of these forward resources in the mid game, or at least try and take control of them. And looks like Liereyy has 1 archery range himself, and he's actually being very greedy and taking these deer forward from his base.
Yeah, and Lierey's adding in 1 extra Men-at-Arm and a skirmisher coming forward now. Ooh. Yo, he's playing so aggressive. I love to see this.
I love this. Like, if you're going to play a style that can be good against Viper, I think this is one of the best things you can do.
Yeah, go super aggressive, micro a lot. I mean, it's not that Viper's bad at it. I just think that Liereyy is just, like, simply better at it.
Yeah.
So, let's see how it pays off here.
Did you just cast a curse? You just lost a Men-at-Arm.
Player cursed. I'm still a player.
Okay.
Don't disrespect me like that. Call me a caster. That's you.
That's you know, eventually make the transition.
Yeah,
like
that is true. Yeah. But yeah, pretty good defense there from Viper. And well, it's not too bad actually.
Yep.
Kind of like dies down.
Yep, it's just like both players killed each other.
Yeah, and it's just like there's now calm a little bit. But, you know, Liereyy did save the scout, actually. That's not too bad.
Yeah, you know, he can scout around, and it did buy Liereyy some space with which he was able to take some extra deer. Viper getting housed a little bit again. Feels bad, man. And Viper just starting to wall off. I mean, that's what you really want to be doing as Mayans against a very fast Civ like Huns.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that Liereyy actually has very little walt, and this is because he went aggressive. So this is not like a risky play or anything for him. No. This is just the nature of the game, that if you are attacking, you don't have to wall at home. And Liereyy knows this all too well. You need
every single resource you can to do your aggression.
Exactly, yeah. You instead invest it, you know, forward instead of on the wall.
Exactly. Faster fletching will be coming in here from Liereyy. Viper, interestingly, adding an additional Eagle Scout. Yeah. So actually even queuing up more. So you might even go full scale mail armor and stuff like that. Eagle Scout plus Skirmisher.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of funny how like the main meta is to go for archers, but since the counter to that is skirmishers, Viper is forced to add in scrims himself.
It's kind of like when you play as Vikings or Britons and then you just happen to make knights every game because everyone expects you to go for crossbows.
Exactly. It's like kind of like the meta becomes something that other players will not expect, not the obvious choice here.
Exactly. But speaking of not so obvious, Viper took a not so obviously good fight there.
Yeah, that was not the best engagement for him. Loses his army for pretty much only 1 skirm there, maybe 2. But he's walling back at home. Let's see what Liereyy can do with this advantage. He definitely does have the military advantage, but he only has 1 range, so... You know,
yeah, Viper does have the 2 ranges, so has been able to work with that, and whenever he makes an archer, those will be a bit cheaper as well.
Ooh.
Stable at home for Liereyy.
I like.
Is this for additional scout production? Yes, it is.
To be honest, though, like, it's good, but I don't know if like Viper's playing so defensive. Like I don't know if the scouts will do that much damage. His base is very compact.
Honestly, like if I were Liereyy, I might try and like do what I can to keep the pressure on, keep Viper in his base, and then like try and get up to Castle Age faster, and then start making some knights. I think that might be a pretty good idea. Yeah,
Knights and Castle definitely comes to mind because we're seeing a lot of Eagle Scouts and skirmishers, both of which will die to Knights and Castle Age. The problem is we're very far from there. I don't think Liereyy has Castle Age in mind at the moment. I think he wants to play in Feudal Age. Big engagement about to break out here.
It is about to all go down, and by go down I mean these skirmishers, because they are taking a bunch of hits from the Eagle Warriors. There's 1 scout here for Liereyy, but it is not enough to challenge 3 Eagle Scouts. And Liereyy is now on the run. He even still has 2 villagers who are here. they have been conscripted.
They're joining the fight, actually, drafted into the military.
Yeah, exactly.
This is going to be a good fight for Liereyy, though.
Yeah, I think Viper, again, I think he's trying to push out too soon. Like, he just keeps on coming forward with, I think, just too few units. And look at the military discrepancy, Hera. It's 14-4 in favor of Liereyy.
Yeah, I think for the first time this game, I think that Viper is actually in trouble. I don't think he can actually defend this as easily as he was defending the earlier aggression, because now Liereyy can add in more and more scouts if you want to. Even added in a men-at-arm just to have like one of every unit. A little bit of style points there for him.
Go full AI style.
Yeah, exactly.
But, okay, so Viper, he has essentially one of every unit, but it's not great numbers. It's 15 military to 7. The one thing that's nice for Viper is that there aren't, I think there's only one archer mixed into this army here for Liereyy, so the villagers are going to be very slow and dying, but those are some nice archer picks.
Oh yeah, but great micro from Liereyy, actually, like running in there, sniping, moving back, hitting the eagle. Pretty top class unit control here. Viper's doing not that bad defending, trying to buy himself some time. I just want to see how many more scouts will fall off.
And honestly, because Liereyy did such a good job sniping the few archers, the one men-at-arm is coming in here and actually can make this fight a bit trickier unless you run into the TC
the men-at-arm,
Liereyy. Oh man,
that's
every single hit that this men-at-arm can get is just so huge, but still not quite enough. And more scouts coming in here from Liereyy. He does even have the +1 armor for them. And these villagers to the north of Viper's base do seem awfully exposed.
Now, but honestly, Viper's getting clapped here. Like he's not even close to Castle Age. He's losing his army. Liereyy has got momentum, and he's got the map control. I do want to see, you know what, the forward towers from Liereyy. Yeah, pressure that goal. Do not give a chance for a comeback here, because you do have the military advantage.
Yeah, you have the advantage, so use it as best you can. Viper forced to fight with villagers once again. He is now down 3 already. Bloodlines on the way here for Liereyy as well. But Viper's starting to push this back, but just that military discrepancy is so huge. Literally double for Liereyy. Yeah. And Viper's still not walled.
Like, will Liereyy continue to pressure? It looks like he's continuing to add units. Like I said, the towers now, I feel like it's a good time to go for that. It doesn't strike me as his style, but we'll keep an eye on it. Regardless, just military is fine.
Yeah, as long as he keeps up the pressure, I think it's good. Additional barracks now on the way for Viper. Is this for more Eagle Warrior production? It looks like it is. Are you a fan of this?
I mean, it's not. It's like the only thing he can do. You know what I mean? Like he's playing his scrims and scouts. Like mains don't want to spend that long in Feudal Age against Huns. This is probably the only thing he can do. But no, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like this position at all.
I don't either. Yeah. I think with Mayans, you just can't stay in Feudal Age. Like Aztecs, you can make it work probably, just with the faster creating military units being especially useful for Eagle Warriors.
Yeah.
But Mayans, like, you want to get to Castle Age, which, honestly, because this map is consistently very open, I think Mayans might be a little bit of a suspect pick here, honestly.
Yeah, maybe Liereyy had that in mind as well, because he had the option of picking Meso, and he just chose not to.
And I personally think Huns have a pretty good matchup versus Mayans, like especially in Feudal Age, and this is completely being shown right now. Yeah,
really, really nice stuff from Liereyy. And like I said, always, regardless what happens, scouts and skirmishers, like it's just always the same military composition, or so it seems. And now again,
it's
Viper
good
on
though.
The back foot. Yeah, it's working. Listen, if it works, it works. We've seen just how well it's working here. 0-2 down in the series.
Oh yeah.
I'm not doing too bad in this third game though.
Yeah, he's got fully upgraded scouts, by the way. Those are Bloodlines +1/+1 scouts. Viper absolutely millennia away from the Castle Age. Liereyy, 500 food right now, but 24 farmers.
This is a wrap. He's got so many resources here. He can basically sponsor the next NAC. But
at least sponsor the food of the next NAC.
That is very true. But regardless, he can just click up the Castle Age here and probably just end the game straight up from there.
Yeah, I mean, Viper's trying to build a second mining camp to increase his efficiency. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough.
He's just like a change in scenery at this point.
Yeah, honestly. So, yeah, Castle Age just now coming in here for Liereyy. I would expect a full sort of Night Skirmisher play. And look at Viper's resource. He's at 109 food, 38 gold. And his army, his army count is technically larger. He's actually trying to march across the map with it. But, I mean, okay, he has one spearman, but if that one spearman gets sniped, then the scouts will clean up everything else. There just aren't enough archers, and the scouts are too well upgraded.
And even if the spearman doesn't get sniped, the scouts will still clean up everything else, because there's nothing really there to fight off the +1/+1 with Bloodline scouts. Second staple now down for Liereyy as well.
He is out of position, that's for sure. Viper's coming in here. Will possibly grab a villager. Palisade Gate coming in as well, but remember, there is no armor on these guys anymore.
Oh, nice little dodge there. Saves the villagers, at the very least.
Yeah, definitely, like, Lierey's control in this series so far has definitely been incredible. Bringing his scouts and skirmishers home, and that's really all that these guys need to do is just buy time. And I think they were successful in doing that. Might have to pull these villagers over to the other lumber camp, but that wouldn't really be the end of the world. Or you could just, you know, let them die.
But honestly, like, if Liereyy just doesn't delete his TC, he's like, there's no damage he can take from this army that's gonna make him lose the game. Like, he even wins the fight if it does break out. If it doesn't break out, he's gonna get the cast stage faster and still win the game.
Even focusing down the spearmen as best he can.
Yeah, very nice stuff. Archers in the back from Viper, so both players are microing this fight to perfection almost. And just gonna come down to Liereyy just having better units pretty much.
Exactly, like the Scout Cavalry just so strong with all those upgrades, especially when most of your opponent's army is skirmishers and dealing 1 damage to them every 3 in-game seconds.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, Viper resigns.
GG.
No? Griefing? Oh, still playing? Okay.
Okay,
okay.
Let's search the corner of the map for Vills, guys.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's got something in mind here. Maybe he's looking to click up to the castle edge himself. He does have the resources. If he does manage to pull this back, it could be a really strong comeback. But I would obviously say it's like pretty one from Liereyy at this position.
Yeah, the thing is, Viper is possibly the just single most resilient player in the world. Like, it is so hard to finish him off.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't count him out this early here. And you know what? He is up in the set as well, so maybe he's just trying to get a feel out for his opponent as well.
But Liereyy is
he's confident.
You know, 800 score ahead right now. Viper trying to add some additional towers, but especially if Liereyy can grab +2 armor, then that's just going to be absolutely insane. But even +1/+1 knights are going to be really strong.
Oh, Viper's falling back into a tower defense as well. That's not that great against Knights, though. Knights do have +2 armor here from Liereyy.
Yeah, +2 armor is on the way, but I guess, like, what else can you do? Everything else just dies. Like, feudal age units can't beat Knights unless you make, like, 1,000,000 spearmen, but there's 14 skirmishers that can kill all the spearmen.
Yeah, the combination of skirmishers with cavalry has just been so dominant from Nili. In these mid games especially, I mean, regardless of the outcome of the previous games, he still found success with his army composition in Castle Age.
Yeah, like, there's not been a single game where Liereyy hasn't taken good fights in the mid game with this army composition.
Right.
And now Viper just completely panic walling.
Well, pretty nicely at that, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, it is some good crisis management, and this is...
I like that.
Trust me, this is a crisis.
I'm going to use that crisis management. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
And you know what's actually walling up the gold as well?
But skirmishers can disrupt villagers, or they can die to TC fire.
That also works too.
You know.
And these are not elite skirmishers, mind you, so you know what? Not the strongest unit, but Viper in some troubles here as the gate goes down.
Like, he has 27 idle villagers right now.
Yeah, like, Liereyy can just sit under the TC with just like his units and just.
I mean,
nothing
+2
Viper
defense
can do.
is just so massive here. Just more and more knights. Even adding in some cav archers. Sure.
Why not?
Why not?
Liereyy is up at 3 TC. I just want to point out that this is not an all-in play from him. He's not really like putting all his eggs in the same basket, which is these knights and scrims. He's also booming up behind with 3 TC, so even if Viper is able to somehow stay alive here, he's not going to really be able to match the economy from Liereyy, I don't think. And obviously the castle being dropped down from Mr. Viper.
Yep, that is going to be his sort of Hail Mary play, and just rely on the mighty plumed archer to save him.
Yeah, very mighty indeed. Only costs you a hand and a leg these days. But yeah, he does have the castle going up though. 45 villas, what's the vill count here? 45 to almost 60. Yeah, not looking too good.
24 military to 2. Yeah, this is some games you just know they're not going to be able to pull back. Honestly, like at this point, Liereyy should just start gathering stone and switch over to Tarkans.
Might
just
as well
kill the buildings, kill the plumed archers.
Go a little bit of a flex unit. Although
yeah.
the Tarkans in this day and age is actually quite strong, especially with
like
Marauders.
legit, especially against Mayans. Like,
yeah, it's a solid option.
Like, they're not horrible against Eagles, especially if they're like mixed in and rather than the primary thing, and then you just kill all the archers.
100% agree. I mean, not much to say at this point. Viper's still trying to hold on with these towers and defensive castles with, of course, the town centers. Again, the quick walling has been on point.
Oh yeah, like the control overall between both of these players has just been absolutely incredible. And like when someone takes like a really good fight, it's just because they did it well rather than the other person played poorly. But
exactly.
The game is over.
Yeah,
the game is telling us the truth right here.
Yeah, so no crazy comeback from Viper. But like I said, he's 2-0 up in the series. I don't think he was necessarily trying to like desperately win the game.
Yeah.
Maybe just getting a feel out for his opponent, seeing if maybe there's a slight chance he can still pull it back. Ends up not working out. I respect the effort, and then, you know, it's a tournament game, so you don't want to resign it too early. But Liereyy, dominating performance there in that one.
That is the aggression we wanted to see from Liereyy. Like, exactly. And amazing kill-death ratio, economy, like, you know, 3K more food, 2K more wood. That's all you need. and just getting that Castle Age time a good 3 minutes faster, like that just can be such a big difference maker.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say, like, the pressure on those 2 goals that we talked about as well, it came in at like perfect timing. You don't have to rush. You don't have to go for a tower rush. A common misconception with these like forward gold maps, people trying to like over punish it. But the way Liereyy played it, was just like calm, collected, played from home with his military, and ended up just having the stronger composition with those scouts.
To be fair, I think Lierey's playstyle here only works if you have superb unit control, because like if you like mess up and like the skirmishers get out of position or something, then you just die horribly.
Yeah,
and then all of your pressure just falls flat on its face and you're behind. So I do think like you do need to be a player of this caliber to make something like that work.
Yeah,
but you could do it for sure.
They're
in game.
Oh, they're in game actually. Okay, all right. So what's the next map, by the way? It's going to be, looks like
Islands?
Vipers. Yeah, Vipers for some map. It's going to be Islands most likely. Let's just hop in the game here.
Yeah, Islands.
It will be Islands. I'm expecting Vikings from both players. Ooh, Italians from Viper.
A matchup we've seen many times so far this tournament, but not one we've seen a lot from Viper, who usually is the Vikings player himself. But here is the Snake himself, will be our blue Viking player to the west of the map on Islands. Is still leading this series, but did drop the last game, and his opponent here, Liereyy, going to be looking for the big comeback. He will, of course, be the Vikings here on the eastern island. Not Easter Island, just the eastern island. So, Hera, what do you think? Is it just always landing if you're not picking Vikings?
I don't know, man, because like Italians are not a bad water civ. And there is differences between Italians and Vikings, most notably the fire galley, of course, being an option for Italians and not so much for Vikings. But I don't know. I just struggle to see how Viper can keep up in the mid game with the water. So maybe we'll see a landing in Castle Age.
Yeah, in my opinion, like, as far as water maps go, you have the Vikings option in playstyle, or you have the Italian/Japanese playstyle.
Yeah.
And those two I think are pretty much interchangeable, just like which one do you like more. So I think that's why we, like, not always, but very frequently see the Italian players trying to go for landings, at least at some point, especially because Italians actually have a really broad tech tree in terms of what they can do throughout the game.
And the Condottiero as well in the early imp.
Exactly. Like, they
Really
have
good power
they
spike.
have good cavalry, they have good monks, and they have the Kondo as an option. Like, and they have good archers, obviously. Like, and as far as like situations where you have like a little bit of a base on your opponent's island, there's a lot of different things Italians can do.
Yeah, very true. And those broad options that you're talking about really come into play with like the different situations on the island, because with landings you have a lot of options available, and depending on what you want to be doing, you could go for the different options as well.
And depending on like what your opponent's map architecture is like.
Yeah, exactly, with the golds and stone positions, of course. By the way, I was talking with Liereyy, and it's funny how you were saying that the playstyles are interchangeable. He has the opinion that Vikings is far better than the other civs. Like,
really?
Yeah, he thinks that with Vikings, like, you should have zero problems playing against Italians, Japanese, or even Koreans that we're seeing kind of like a niche pick from DauT and TaToH.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vikings definitely have their own unique style. I just think it's Italians and Japanese that are very similar. But
yeah.
I think it's just a matter of, again, how confident are you in your unit control? How confident are you in your early game defense? Again, when it comes to, not dying to fire galleys and whatever landing is thrown at you. It's like, with Vikings, it's just like trying to hang on for your dear life until you get to Castle Age.
By the way, Viper's going to go for a back dock here with this villager. Like, it's so interesting to see. Actually, both players going for back dock. We're seeing back dock from Liereyy in the corner, back dock from Viper here on the corner as well. And back dock, what does that mean?
Well, usually it means you want to be defensive, want to, keep your fishing ships further away from your opponent's docks so that if you're up later or, doing something greedier, you can keep them safer. However, sometimes if you're going for a landing, you'll also go for a back dock just because your fishing ships will stay alive for like 30 more seconds or something. Yeah. So I don't think it necessarily says everything, but it means that at least there's a chance that Viper might not go for landing, just play straight up water with fire galleys. Yeah,
like with the back dock, like you said, defensive option, maybe the chance for landing as well. But with both of them going back dock, it might just be an FC from Liereyy if he suspects that Viper will go for back dock as well.
Like, and that would be, I think, incredible for Liereyy because longboats are a good unit.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
After the interview with Hera earlier, everyone else in the apartment gave Hera a ton of grief for saying that longboats weren't a good unit.
I just meant that they were useless compared to galleons and imp. However, like you do prove a good point that if you're going fast castle, you can make longboats without having to make the war galley tech, and that's when they become really, really strong.
Also, they produce faster.
That is very true. And do you have any other stats to talk about here? With the longboats? No?
They're faster.
They're faster. Okay, there you go.
And they take up less area, so you can clump them up a lot easier and take more water
and
fights.
then just die to galleys. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I think if Liereyy, like I said, if he suspects the back talk from Viper and goes for fast castle, albeit a risky play, can be actually a very smart play if it does pay off for him, which I think in this case would, depending on whether he goes for it or not.
I think, you know, it's still up in the air. At least it's going to be 4, is that 5 fishing ships queued up for Viper?
Yeah, that's standard for back talk.
Oh, yeah.
That's no problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Something that is true, though, for Italians is they have the cheaper fishing ships, so you can try and go for, like, if your opponent is, like, going fast castle, maybe try and have a slightly slower castle age, but with a much stronger economy, because if you can make just a bunch of fishing ships, and Italians have the cheaper age up, so, you know, you're saving like around 200 food, like 70 gold or something in that ballpark. So.
And then they also have the cheaper dock decks as well. So
exactly.
Like there's like 3 eco bonuses kind of like merging in with the fast castle strategy.
And something like that I think it was actually TaToH who did it yesterday, but when you're Italians on a water map, like as soon as you hit castle age, you can just get careening, especially if you're up against like Vikings who aren't going to have fire galleys, is because careening, especially for your own fire ships, is just so strong against
galleys.
That is true,
yeah,
really
it gives them that 1 extra armor. Usually careening is not great because fire galleys do the same amount of damage to you, but yeah, against war galleys, by the way, quick note, Lierey's going fast castle.
Yeah, Lierey's definitely going
fast castle. He's walling up, he's still hasn't clicked up, he's making a lot of fish. Lierey's going fast castle, and Viper instead is going for the Grush, even in the team adding in a second dock here.
Yeah, if there's any player who will not go for the landing and just want to play the pure water game, I'd say it's Viper, just because he's so comfortable on water.
And Liereyy, to be honest.
And
both,
Liereyy, yeah, no, like these are 2 of the best water players.
Yeah.
Like definitely like alongside TaToH.
And DauT, just kidding.
Oh, correct. But yeah, dock almost done here. Second dock, that is to say, for the Viper, 4 on gold. This just seems about as standard gets when it comes to early feudal age water play. We'll of course be adding the 3rd dock here quite soon.
I was going to point out, though, that Liereyy is walling up on the line, and this is not something you see all the time. Like, players go for fast castle, but they don't wall the map. And he's just preparing for the landing as well. He's playing it, like, extremely safe. And it's not going to pay off if the landing doesn't come, but if the landing does come in, and this is, like, a really genius move to wall up the landing.
And I think if you're hedging your bets in Lierey's shoes, I think you wall. Like, especially, like, against Italians, and knowing that you're Vikings, and if you want to go for that fast castle age, like, they need to try and punish you, otherwise you'll just like die to longboats.
Yeah, exactly. Like the power spike from longboats and the handcart as well. We haven't mentioned the Vikings eco bonus, getting free wheelbarrow and free handcart as you age up.
Well, really, that isn't like as big of a deal unless you're farming, and then you're not farming that much on water. But in later castle age, it's definitely like it's still a very, very powerful eco bonus.
Comes into play for sure. Wait, how many fish does Viper have, by the way? He's got 5 at that first dock, 2 on that second. He's got 7 fishing ships total. He's going to be able to click up to castle age pretty fast as well.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying with Italians. You have the cheaper fishing ships, you can get more of them. And with the cheaper castle age, even though Liereyy is almost certainly going to be faster up to castle age, a Viper could be within like 25% or so in terms of uptime.
By the way, just going to quickly actually go to the point of view of Viper here. Can I do that if I click this button? Does that work?
Yeah, go for it. All
right, fantastic. So we're going to go to point of view of Viper, and the reason we're doing this... Ooh, it's bugged. Okay, go back.
We can do the double.
All right, the double will work just fine.
That also is bugged.
All right, let's go back to your point of view.
Oh, man. Main, I think?
Yeah. Oh. No POVs. Okay, no POVs. Got word from the technical staff. No POVs are allowed, so never mind on that. But basically what I want to say is that, like, Viper, he knows the back dock is there.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
He's just going straight there. He knows that there's not going to be a front dock with FC, and he's going straight there with the fire galley. So he's going to be able to clear up the fishing ships from Liereyy.
Yeah, he'll have a pretty good shot of doing that. Galley even on the way here for the Viper. Lierey's just trying to get his buildings in, of course. And yeah, I mean, Lierey's going to be able to get the fast castle. Look at Liereyy. He is playing so safe, walling the water.
This is like, it's like almost too safe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you really want to commit that much into that, like, walls.
Yeah, I mean, especially because you are losing your fishing ships, or at least idling them. So your food income is going to be in the form of 5 foragers and 5 farmers, which is not like incredible.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, look at the time.
Yeah.
we're talking fast caster from Liereyy. It's a fast caster from Viper as well, 5-6% behind, and he has the fishing ship advantage. This is a huge play from Viper. I think this, you can just tell. I feel like he's practiced this.
Yeah, no, and this is honestly why I slightly prefer Italians over Japanese, and usually why I pick them on water maps. Is I feel like even if you're up against Vikings, like you can make something happen to get to Castle Age pretty quickly just with all of the extra resources you save as Italians.
Oh my God, Viper's gonna go find Lierey's dock on the front with that one fishing ship. Like, it's not huge, but it's just like that little bit of an advantage that's gonna come in from him. And also he's gonna know about that dock, so now he knows for sure that Lierey's gonna go for the longboats.
Oh yeah, I mean, what would you do? Go for war galleys? Come on, man.
True.
This isn't Pleb Town.
But, you know, just that little bit of extra scouting information, like knowing the front docks there, obviously getting that fishing ship as well, helps so much for Viper, even though he's already in a great position himself.
Yeah, certainly. And, of course, half-price war galley and careening likely as well. Going to be pretty good. But still, longboats are a really good unit, believe it or not. And especially with just a little bit of a faster time, and, you know, we also have to factor in the research time for war galley. Longboats timing can be happening here.
Yeah, the thing is, though, like, Viper getting that one extra fish, I think this is going to be a pause in the next couple of seconds here, and we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Viper getting that extra fishing ship from Liereyy, that's not too bad. And yeah, there's the pause that I was talking about. Pause from Liereyy. Let's take a look at the webcam here. He's, I guess, just thinking of some stuff. No fishing ships. Like you said, he has the longboats, and he's got the hand cart.
Yep.
But... Oh, he's setting up the
hockey for longboats.
Oh my lord. Liereyy, the preparation's uncanny. Like,
oh yeah, just that is some AM preparation right there.
And the thing is, like, he picked the Civ. Like, that was his go-to Civ.
And he was one of the people saying that you were crazy for thinking longboats were bad.
I know, and he didn't have a hotkey for it. He's probably never even played with the unit before.
Oh yeah, I mean, he just sees Viper play. Just, oh yeah, the unit's good.
But yeah, so setting up the hotkey for longboats here from Liereyy.
Of course, he's got 3 on the way as soon as he hits Castle Age.
Yeah, and well, I guess like it's possible to come back from this position if you're Liereyy. The problem is that like Viper has just like 8 or so fishing ships, like as a net advantage.
Oh yeah,
like, it's an even game, but he's got 8 extra fish.
And remember, Gilnets is also a dock tech, so it also costs minus 50% as Italians.
I didn't know that actually. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's basically like getting a cheaper eco upgrade, which will be very valuable.
Yeah, certainly. And
wait, Italians is insane actually.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, they're real good.
I might actually play that shit.
Yeah, go for
good.
it. But yeah, longboats are on the way, but I mean, look at this from Viper. He's already got a ton of work alleys here. And
oh, the game started.
Oh, yeah, the game started.
Yeah, I was trolling.
Some longboats are here, and in addition to firing the extra arrows to be good against the fire ships, they also move faster, like I was saying, so you can outrun them a little bit better, and they will be able to pick off some of Viper's ships here.
Yeah.
So now it's all going to be about the mass. Can you just churn out those longboats fast enough to get, enough where you can just overwhelm Viper's army?
Yeah, but of course right now we're going to be seeing the test. It's going to be longbows versus the war galleys from Viper. We'll see what ends up being the stronger option. Careening from Viper coming in.
I'm telling you, man, half price careening. It's,
yeah,
I think like 150, 100 or something.
Is he getting this only against longboats, or is this just a good upgrade in general for Italians?
I think maybe if it's like less of a priority if you're up against a bunch of fire ships, but if you're against Vikings or just a bunch of galleys in general, like 100%.
Okay, it's definitely worth it, especially like you said, half price there from the Italians. What can they do with these longbows? Remember, they do move faster, as OrnLu has said a few times now. Maybe just run around and raid?
Yeah, just run around and snipe fishing ships. I mean, that is a large part of Viper's advantage in this game right now is those fishing ships.
True.
So if he can snipe those, as well as like any straggler ships like this one, that can definitely be pretty good.
Yeah, this is some good control from Liereyy overall here. And remember, the longer the game goes on, the better Vikings are having those cheaper warships, having the longboats available.
Yeah, I would say that in early Imperial Age, Italians become insane again because you would get half-price shipwright, so it actually becomes a super reasonable and cheap technology.
And actually, just for the viewers out there, what does shipwright actually do for the ships?
Yeah, so shipwright, guys, it's a pretty expensive tech. Normally it's 500 food, 300 gold, and it makes your ships cost less wood and train much faster. So it's like a super important upgrade. Vikings don't get it because they already get a discount. They don't need more of a discount. But Italians get it, and you get it for half price. Normally it's too expensive to get, especially in early Imperial Age, but Italians are the ones that can make that work.
Yeah, again with the 50% DauT tech. So shipwright there, very important tech to get for the late game. But we're not quite there yet. We're going to see a second TC from Viper here coming down on his main land. Liereyy already has the second one up, so maybe a small eco lead for Liereyy. What's the build count looking like?
It's 47 to 40 in favor of Viper.
Never mind.
This, of course, does include fishing ships, but Liereyy gets a little bit of a snipe right there. And, of course, I'm fairly sure Viper doesn't have wheelbarrow, and Liereyy already has handcart, which, like we're saying, this is the part in the game where that eco bonus is going to start becoming more and more impactful. Liereyy with, what is that, 8 farms right now. Also getting the University for Ballistics. That's hashtag clearly going to be a great upgrade in these sorts of scenarios. And Liereyy catching up in the Vil count. And honestly, I think this game is pretty even right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like the start was completely different, right? I mean, we saw the back dock, but after that, Viper went for a little bit more feudal aggression, then ended up going for the fast castle with the extra fishing ship, and then Liereyy, of course, went for straight fast castle into longboats, and now it's looking like an even game, but some sloppy micro in the middle for Liereyy.
What is that, man? Just pay attention to your units.
I mean,
that's a lot of free longboats.
We can be harsh on Liereyy and say he's trolling there, but that was his first army mistake all series. So you know what? It happens. Now we at least know he's human.
We weren't sure before.
Yeah, exactly.
At least we know now.
With his interview skills as well, we're not really sure.
That's true.
I don't know. Viper seems to be taking better trades here. Remember, he does have that careening as well.
He does have careening, but ballistics should be in here soon, I would think, for Liereyy. And the longboats, guess what? They're a pretty good unit, but with Viper having the larger army numbers, he has around 6 or 7 more ships at any given point. Liereyy is going to have to retreat.
Oh, the pincer move from Viper, though, sending 5 war galleys from the back as well. Not going to do that much, though, because...
Wait, can't you just snipe the boats and run away because you have the faster ship?
Yeah, exactly. They're just going to easily deal with this. But to be fair, Liereyy lost a couple units himself there, so it turns out to be an even trade.
Yeah,
looked cooler.
The discrepancy is pretty similar between the two. But Viper, I still do think has the lead in this game. He has 15 more population. Just now getting wheelbarrow though. Remember, Lierey's had handcart this whole time, and is helping out his farmers a lot. And the longboats are still going to be producing pretty quickly. Yeah,
we're seeing the third TC come down from Viper now as well on the mainland. Liereyy still not even considering the third TC. Doesn't have the wood for it quite yet. Again, it's very tricky, the timing on the TCs, because the units cost a lot of wood. So it's do you idle your docks to get the TC, or do you favor the army? It's tricky to find the perfect balance. In this game, Viper's done a pretty good job of it, though.
And I have to say, I feel like back in old days on water maps, even after OrnLu Kingdoms and a lot of Italian mirrors and stuff, people would all go 1 TC a huge amount of the time on water. Try and go for the fast Imperial Age and either Galleon or Condos in Italian's case or something like that. But a lot in this tournament so far, people have been feeling comfortable enough to take extra TCs in Castle Age.
Well, the thing is, different game with DE, we're always playing on a different patch as well. Condo's not nearly as strong as they were once OrnLu Kingdoms had just been released. But I think in general, the safer way to play is just with the eco, because the fast the problem is that you have to last so long without taking fights, with just trying to hold on, and oftentimes it just doesn't pay off.
Exactly, and then you just lose all your ships and then you die.
Yeah, exactly.
So ballistics is on the way actually only just right now for Liereyy, but I'm pretty sure he wins this fight. It is 9 war galleys versus 18 longboats. Okay, I'm pretty sure he wins this one.
Yeah, a lot more army from Viper at the moment. The problem is that Lierey's playing very defensive, so the extra military isn't really going to win Viper any fights at this point.
Unless he joins up his entire army, but at that point Liereyy can just sail away.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can fight near your docks as well, making it impossible for Viper to patrol. A bit of a hard topic to talk about here, but basically if you patrol near enemy buildings, half your army will target the buildings instead of the enemy units, and that's why Lierey's hugging his docks so closely here.
Essentially, patrolled units just attack whatever's closest to them, and if that's a building, they attack the building, and then you feel silly.
Yeah, exactly. So, Liereyy hugging his docks there for that reason. Still 2 TC though, and tell from the Vil counts here, it's going to be 7 Vils higher from Viper, and that's only going to increase as he does have that extra TC.
He's about to click Imperial Age.
Oh my god, yeah, picking up his relics as well.
Yeah,
This
he's
is crazy.
he's getting the relics. He has the university, of course, for ballistics, and there's Imperial Age. Transport ship is on the way as well here for the Viper. Again, it's just that little bit of an eco lead might be snowballing a fair bit right now.
Yeah, keep in mind, Viper does have 5 extra fission ships. I'm not sure if he ended up getting gill nuts or
Yeah, he got
not.
gill nuts instantly.
He got, okay, instantly?
Yeah.
There you go. And is any in more docks now?
Yeah, and why not? And like I was saying, especially with Italians, early Imperial Age can be insane. You just get all the dock techs.
Yeah, exactly,
Just,
right away.
You know, for free. Get Galleon, fast fire ship if you have those. I mean, Viper doesn't now, but you can. And then shipwright, obviously. So Liereyy, I mean, he's getting to Imperial Age, but it's going to be probably around 50% or so slower.
And now Viper's getting handcards, so pretty much the only advantage that Liereyy has is that handcard, and that's going to be taken away from him now. Liereyy is he close to Imperial Age? Yeah,
no, he just clicked up, like I said, he's going to be around 50% slower. And he's adding in more docks himself, but we do. He's going to have to reckon with this early imp timing from Viper, which is going to be so hard to stop. As Viper has a little under double the military.
What is Viper doing with this transport ship, by the way? Because I noticed he's going with this transport ship.
Did he garrison it? Oh, here it is.
What does he got inside that guy? He got a monk! Oh my god, if he steals the this is so sick.
Oh,
this is sick.
The galaxy brain play, man.
Oh my lord. Imagine, like, the biggest monk heist in the history of DE. Like, this is going to be absolutely nuts. He does know exactly where the relic is as well.
Because it's right near the shoreline here.
That's actually really, really smart.
Like, that's just cute, right?
Yeah, no, but like that could actually win you the game on
very much
islands.
can.
Because as the resources start to run out, the relic's the only thing giving you gold.
Unless you're Portuguese and make Fetorias.
That is true, but of course not in this game.
Not in this game,
unfortunately, sadly, yeah.
But Imp just about to be closing in here for Viper.
Leary's noticing what's going on here.
Oh, no.
He's using the villager.
He's trying to block.
He's blocking. Oh my lord.
Who's smurfing whom at this point?
What a disaster. Old man runs away here.
Yeah. No.
Wait, if you could risk. Wait, what? Lierey's trolling. That's such an important villager, actually, because now Viper's got a villager on his island. And
what are you doing, Liereyy?
Oh my god, this is a disaster. I swear this matters, because now condos can come out.
Oh no! I mean, Viper would have to like build the barracks and stuff. He doesn't have any upgrades right now. He's obviously prioritizing the water upgrades. But I mean, he's just gonna keep a few ships here, and then this villager ain't dying.
And he's gonna go snag that relic again.
Oh my
god, this is actually just such a meme game at this point.
And like I was saying, here a shipwright coming in almost instantly as well, so and that's gonna be just so good.
A 13K being raised from Mr. Overlay Guy. Awesome stuff. Welcome everyone who's just coming into the scene. And
Hope
now
you're
we're
enjoying
seeing
the series. It's been a great one.
Dude, this has been fantastic. I mean, the games have been so close. And also, we're seeing, like, interesting plays. It's not like the standard stuff that we've been seeing in the past sets in the tournament.
Oh, but this could be the big decisive fight. It is 35 longboats versus only 28 gallons. Remember what I was saying about longboats being able to stack up so much more easily? So once
he has to wait for Elite, though.
Yeah, he does have to wait for Elite, but it's coming in. Like, he's getting the upgrade. Chemistry is going to be obviously much slower, doesn't have careening to help out a little bit, but still, the ship numbers here are a bit deceiving. It's 30 galleons now to 39 longboats, but better upgrades for Viper.
Yeah, more villas for Viper as well. And like I said, he does have that one villager on Liereyy Island.
We could have
getting
another
the
trap.
barracks.
The Navy just needs to be brought around here for Viper.
But yeah, right now Liereyy wins these.
Yeah, look, Viper was doing the patrol thing you were talking about. He's just targeting the docks.
It's so unfortunate on water maps, and that's why Liereyy hugging the back of his map is actually the way to go here. But like I said, the barracks on the land. Have you shown it to the stream here? We've got 2 barracks coming up. That's condos. You don't have to.
That's an archery range.
Oh. Archer range coming up. So we're actually going to see some archers coming out from Viper here. I thought he would go for the condos. Actually ends up going for the arbalest. Not too bad, though. Not too bad. Second range as well coming down. So it's going to be arbalest. Probably bombard cannons mixed in there as well, because he does have chemistry already.
Indeed, that will be the case. But look at this. We have elite longboat. We have careening. We have chemistry. The longboats are going to Shrek these guys. It's 36 longboats to 24 galleons, and these guys just stack up. They're like pre-nerf step lancers, man. You can just stack them all on top of each other.
Okay, I will say that the fights that the longboats are able to take are really, really nice. Yeah, like you said, the stacking, obviously the docks near there for Liereyy helps out a lot. The problem is
the landing is.
And like, does it matter if he wins one fight? He's just getting out macroed here at this point.
Yeah, and like Viper can just churn out ships with shipwright that just don't cost much wood and produce produce so much faster.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you're going to be fighting land units here soon, and Liereyy has approximately 0 defenses against this with both of his stones forward.
Yeah, we are seeing Captram being teched in there from Liereyy. Again, Crossbow coming
Viper
in.
also trying to get this castle up in the middle. Oh, but there's going to be like a fight right here. Is it going to be a DauT castle?
I don't think it matters, though. I think you can just pull back the villas if you really want to, or send new ones. Big fight, though. Who's going to win this one? I think it's looking in favor of Viper at the moment.
27 versus 30, but that
The
seems
game
to be
is
GG.
over. That is the series as well. Well played to Viper, taking it 3-1. Not too bad.
Same scoreline as you.
Oh, true, but did I last longer? Please give me one stat that I did better than Liereyy, just so I can brag tonight. In any case, though, that was really, really nice.
Yeah, that was a really, like, honestly, like, all of those games were really close.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and we're just, as you're saying, it's not like they were completely, like, wild, but they were, like, a little bit of a twist from what we would consider standard.
Right,
And
especially this last game here with, the Italians actually proving to be the better Civ over Vikings if played, obviously, correctly. Viper, I think, I'm not a great water player myself. I don't have that much experience, but I think, like, he thought it through perfectly.
Oh, yeah, like, that definitely was using Italians at least close to their full potential on water, which is nice to see, because normally it's just Vikings or landings.
Yeah, I didn't see any mistakes there from him, honestly, on the water play. Very, very clean stuff.
Did even manage to bring that relic back in the end.
Yeah, ended up getting 3 relics. That's like an only Viper move, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Like from game 1 to the end, we've seen some interesting games, and again, very close in a lot of them. I think the scoreline of 3-1. You know, credit to Viper, he does deserve it. But I think a couple changes in a couple games, and Liereyy wins the 3-1. Honestly.
Where does that sound familiar?
Oh, come on, maybe from my series.
Come on, AM boys.
we just don't have the composure to end games, I think, or to like extend our lead.
No, but it was an excellent series. I had a lot of fun casting with you, Hera. Hope you enjoyed as well.
Yeah, pleasure as well, man. I think that was our first time, and we did pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, like the only thing I'm scared of when casting with someone new is that like us talking over each other, but that didn't happen much at all.
No, and yeah, I think we each like look at the game a bit differently, but I definitely I know I like learn from your perspective, and yeah, I enjoyed it. You have an interview to do.
Oh yeah, true. And it's gonna be with Viper, right? So do I need this mic still? Oh no, I don't.
No, you leave the mic here. I would also recommend muting it.
Oh, muting it? How to mute? Unplug.
Oh, okay, that works too. Yeah. See you in a bit. Now it is OrnLu who has control of the stream. Wahahaha. Hey, chat. Hope you guys enjoyed that series. That was a lot of fun. And we broke 13K, 13.4K peak. That's sick. That's really sick. Hi, everybody. We'll be getting into the interview in just a second. We're just obviously need to bring the players over. Oh, the lights. Changing light. So yeah, that was like when it's Liereyy versus Viper, it's almost always delivers as a series. Even if Viper wins almost all the time, like those are some darn good games. Are good to go? Okay, yeah, I can always kill time. Oh, the pleb Hera and all of his mistakes. No, Hera's really smart. Like, yeah. Oh, I think we're good to go.
Where it matters a lot. Oh, we're ready? So we're here with Viper coming out of another 3-1 series over another AM guy as well. So well played. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I'm feeling good. I feel like I played well today, so I'm satisfied with my performance. But still, a couple of sloppy things here and there that I need to fix. But yeah, I'm feeling good.
All right, fair enough. We were just talking about some lag as well in the last game. Let's just mention that real quick. So the galley micro especially that it came in?
His archers as well. Just anytime you try to stutter micro and like hit and run and move backwards, it's just they're acting super strange. I'm not sure if it's the PC or what it is, but hopefully the organizer might look for some solutions to help it out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been multiple people not feeling it.
Yeah,
This one.
I felt it in the first game as well. Okay, let's go through the games here one by one, I guess. So we started with the first game. I'm kind of in the quiz moment here with Liereyy, asking what the Civs were. Britons versus Chinese.
Yeah.
Why Britons?
I thought he would go Chinese, and I figured Britons could be a good option to deal with that. Yeah, I mean, I had a pretty good map as well, so I kind of got exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, with like the Drush FC. That was your go-to plan, right?
That was my goal.
Yeah.
Hopefully get like decent woodlines and probably a safe gold. If I got that, my plan was Drush FC.
Speaking of which, why did you not full wall? Like you walled most of it, but you left the front open. Is that like you just didn't feel like full walling, or?
I was considering full walling like further down as well to secure a stone as well, but I don't know. I don't know, lazy, sloppy. I could have done it, but still, I felt like I should have enough to be fine.
Like besides the one Vill that you lost to the scouts, it didn't really feel like you were in too much danger.
No, he didn't do too much damage,
Yeah.
but still, it caused some idle time and slowed down my castlage time a little bit.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So maybe for next time, just full wall it up and.
Thanks for the tips.
Yeah, no worries, man. I can actually teach you how to lose some series if you want to know.
I heard some you
Yeah, true. Nili can tell us a bit
hasn't
more.
worked too well.
Well, he's a caster now, so lost hope on him. So that was game 1. I think you played it pretty smooth after that, like with the archers, Yeoman and Castle as well, keeping scrims in front. It was some clean stuff. How can Liereyy like punish that? Like should he add towers in feudal? We were talking about that a little bit.
I mean, he could be more safe in his own base if he added a tower on his gold. He could probably go forward on me, try to put pressure, not give me like. I pretty much got a smooth game just playing straight FC, add town centers, and just take the game from there. I don't know. It's hard to say. It depends a lot on the map as well. But he could. It was still open, so in theory he could just make a lot of scouts, a lot of skirms, and run straight in.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe like he played a little bit too passively.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. In any case, it was a pretty smooth game. Going on to game 2, which was I believe the Valley one.
Game 2 was Valley. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Persians from him and Japanese from you. I think that was the closest game of the series, probably.
Yeah, probably.
So it was going to be like the opening was Men at Arms from you that managed to get in, and he wanted to go for some scouts. He had some problems as well, losing his initial scouts, and
to the town center.
You got in somehow.
Yeah. I just want to quickly go back to game 1.
Yeah.
There was a point where he was building a barracks, and I had militia. My Drush was going forward.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure. Was he actually? I don't know if he was.
Oh, you're not sure, eh?
I'm not sure because I felt like
that went right through the wall.
Yeah,
homie.
was it through the wall?
That was through the wall. He's not sure, boys.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was wondering, should I fight her? Or should I just go back
or should I go through the wall?
And get out? Yeah. I didn't know if I don't know what to do in that situation because I felt like I did teleport through the wall.
Yeah, that was some hacks.
Yeah.
I actually feel really bad because.
Yeah, I felt bad as well in the moment. I didn't want to get that damage that shouldn't have been.
But obviously, you're not gonna like not kill the villager. Like,
no, but what can I do if I can't get out of there? He's walled main.
If you're in, you're in. Like you're still taking it.
I don't know because I wasn't sure either if I teleport. I thought I did, but like, what if I didn't? Then
yeah. In any case, though, you'll take that villager, and then that could have been like kind of why he fell so far behind, taking that much damage.
Could be. Slowed him down.
Yeah, we'll just repeat the series, no problem. In any case, moving on to game 2.
Yeah.
So Japanese again, Paladin in 1v1. It just seems like never pay off, and like you always defend it.
I think for Paladin 1v1 you need to have a significant lead already and just like steamroll completely.
Yeah.
You cannot use Paladins in like an equal game where you don't trade cost effectively enough.
Yeah.
I felt like I was okay the whole game. He did get a good fight in early castle age where he kind of got map control back, but still I didn't think I was too far behind in eco, and I always felt like as long as I kept a certain amount of crossbows alive, I would be fine. Yeah. And then it was just about transitioning to the halberdiers because I knew he was going to go cavalier and probably paladin because Persians don't really have too many other options.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially against Japanese. So it was all about getting to that composition and then taking good fights.
Yeah, I was saying like the big thing with Persians is that they have a really strong knight scrim play in Castle Age. Paid off a little bit, but one thing that every time he won a fight, he had no scrims left. And so he cannot get into your base, which is you defending against the Mangonel, like it was really smooth. So it might have looked like you were in a bad position, but in reality, he couldn't really make use of his knights at all. All right, good stuff. So moving on to, I think, game 3.
Cenotes.
Yeah, that was the one loss. What went wrong with your build?
I think I just tried to... I didn't play to my own strength, which is more of a defensive style.
Yeah.
I mean, I played defensive, but that's because he forced me into a defensive play.
Right.
But I tried to play like full open feudal war against his Huns, and that's usually not a good idea, I would say, against Huns. I should have added a second barracks probably earlier to do more eagles.
Maybe you can get like the defense upgrade as well earlier.
Yeah, my eco was a little bit of a mess that game. I didn't really have resources to do enough army to defend. But he played really well that game, and I couldn't really do anything. Yeah,
to be fair, your map was actually really bad. Like you had the 2 forward golds, and then the third gold was also forward. So I don't know if you noticed that, but you had no back resources at all.
Yeah, I didn't really look too much. I just wanted to play. I mean, too much happened that I wasn't able to really properly analyze the map.
As soon as you went into like that, like the scout skirm and feudal age with the upgrades. It just falls out of control for mains. You don't really have an answer. But I think Liereyy played it like pretty perfectly.
That was what you need to do in that scenario.
Yeah, 100%.
Was perfect.
Yeah, so well played there for Liereyy. Putting it back 2-1, and then finally going into game 4, which is Islands. So, like, Vikings has been pretty dominant throughout the tournament, I think.
Throughout the tournament, I don't know. I haven't
won more.
I haven't caught too many games. I don't know how many Islands has been played. I know Max and Yo played once.
Yeah.
And I think Italians won there. Or am I wrong
No,
there? Vikings won there.
Vikings
Okay.
won there. I played a Viking mirror, didn't really count.
Well, DauT has played 2 Islands with Koreans now, so...
Yeah, and that's worked out very nicely.
Yeah. I think they're very close. I shouldn't talk too much here. But I don't want to talk too much about this.
Oh, okay,
Islands.
okay. All right, fair enough.
Not yet.
Yeah, I know why.
Hey,
Can we just talk about one thing, though? Oh,
Hey, come.
Eustace. Am I pronouncing that right?
What do you think about this series? Yeah, so...
Interesting
Islands,
feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the fast castle longboats,
Yep.
useless.
It's not useless. I just think I'm not sure if the fast castle approach is the right one with Vikings. There's a lot of different options now on Islands. Islands is a lot about mind games and tricky play at this moment. There's a few civs that wants to play meta, and then there's some civs that might want to try and do a few tricky things.
Right.
He went full Viking sort of old meta, which would be straight FC longboats. I feel like just giving up map control to Italians like that is not usually a good idea.
Yeah, and you like matched his castle's time with more fish.
Yeah.
And like you killed his fish as well. Like it was just snowball out of control really fast for him. One thing that like I don't know if you realized, but he went for full walls on the land. Like he was like paranoid.
I saw that, yeah.
I don't like. It's too much.
It makes sense though. If I do land 5 archers and he doesn't have anything prepared,
Yeah.
then
I was actually saying that. I was
you
like,
kind of have to be
prepared.
Yeah,
It's mind games, like you said. Like I literally said it on the cast. Either this is useless or it's a genius move. And
I won, like, I didn't plan to land at all. I just wanted, okay, I transitioned to fast castle as well.
Right.
And hopefully he might do something like that as well, where he overreacts and, like, tries to maybe even build a barracks range or something and just to be safe. So, yeah, it worked out pretty well.
yeah, ends up walling up, and you're just playing water, so you get that extra little bit of an advantage because he's overreacting for no reason.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. So that's maybe 2 wins for you. How are you feeling going to the next game? Like you're pretty solid now. Probably just need one more win, right?
I think one more win would guarantee me to be in the next round. I think now I will probably face whoever wins of TaToH and Max, if I'm not mistaken. So got to keep an eye on this and see who does well here. Obviously cheering for my boy Tati, but Max is always scary to play against.
So any preference for you to play? I mean, it's kind of awkward because they're both here, but...
Well, I hope TaToH wins because he's obviously my teammate.
Yeah.
But for me, like, purely selfish individually, I don't really mind.
Okay.
Like,
so
both of them are great players either way.
Yeah, it's pretty hard series regardless.
Yep.
All right, so I think we're pretty done on this interview.
You're a good interview, man.
Yeah, better than
you're pro.
Not yet. That's,
no one can
that's
compete
true.
with him.
Yeah, but I'm getting.
I'm impressed.
Okay, all right.
You're a future as a caster when everything goes wrong.
I mean, it's going wrong so far. I lost the first series, not looking too good, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so I think now we just do the awkward transition back to Nili.
All right.
Nili, bye.
Bye.
The awkward transition, my specialty. Actually, everything awkward. So, PC issues. We don't really know what happened. Obviously, benchmark was pretty good. We use 3 same PCs for the co-caster for both players. We had benchmark 1280. We turned off the POV from time to time. The internet isn't really the issue. So we will investigate. We'll probably format the PCs at night. Luckily for now, the player that had the issues both times won the series. We had no complaints from Mr. Yo today against in the DauT series. And yeah, we, since everyone is around, are pulling the next series directly closer to us. And TaToH and TheMax are already setting themselves up. Dave and Turkman already ready to go there as well. And yeah, so happy, guys. With the viewer numbers, as I said, right, my minimum goal was breaking 12K, and yeah, or everything under 12K, and we already broke 13K today, day 2, and that's pretty damn sexy, I have to say. You know, it's going to be another full week of HM5s coming up. 3 more days of group stage. Thursday will be off. We'll have Friday and Saturday for the brackets. Sunday, the big finals. We will see who we will have there. After the next series, we will also take a look at the brackets, who will sit out. Most likely, I think DauT will have a day off. We will see about that. And oh yeah, I just asked TheViper behind the scenes if he saw the score, if the Paladin was clicked, but I won't tell you. But thanks for asking, guys. Okay, so how things are looking. I think the Max is already completely set up. TaToH is just doing some random clicking, so we should be getting into that pretty soon as well. And yeah, I think Dave and Overlay guys are giving me the Nili stall for some time. And okay, let me investigate, guys. I will leave you alone, and I will go there and make the chat happy and ask Viper if I find him. You can take a look at the hippo, and I will try to find. Okay, Viper, we have one question. Did you see the score drop when Liereyy researched Paladins?
No.
Thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, this is what we did, guys. In Nili investigation successful, and I hope chat is happy now. This is what we do. This is a tournament from me to you. You are part of it. We are part of it. Behind the scenes, deep insight into the thought process of the top players, and on point answers. That's what NAC stands.